Hello, gamers. Welcome to the last night of E3 ever. Can you believe it, folks? We made it. We made it.
Honestly, maybe. Who
It's
knows?
maybe possible. We were talking about it in the stream right before this, but it's definitely possible. Yeah. So I'm John Warren, head of Fanbyte Media. Welcome to Night 4. This is Channel F's fourth and final E3 special. I'm John Warren. Yes, let's go around the horn. Right above me, if you're watching the stream or the VOD, is featured contributor Funke Joseph. Hi, Funke.
Hey, how's it going? Video games, they're finally over. It's been
They're
a while.
finally over. I'm so happy that they're finally over.
Yeah.
We did it. We compromised them to a permanent end, and it's all Jeff Keighley's fault. Joining me, diagonal, if you're watching, is news editor Imran Khan. Hi, Imran.
Hi, there's several games today that I would live for, that I would stay alive for those games.
Good. I love the callback to Natalie's. And listen, I do it too. I do that too all the time. I can't remember the last thing I did it for, but I definitely do the thing where I'm like, I just got to live until this thing comes out. Over to my right, over here. Hi, Niki, who did their, your fourth wardrobe change of the day?
That's right, John. This is my fourth wardrobe change of the day.
That's great, and it's a good wardrobe change. We all look
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. On my notes here for today's episode, we have Around the Horn. So that's introducing everyone. And then I put in a thing that says anything from the E3 awards, question mark.
Yeah, no,
question
sure.
mark, because we had been maybe told / it had been implied that there might be some announcements made at the E3 awards, but the E3 awards are really just about 15 minutes of absolute dog shit.
Yeah,
So-
I have to be very clear. The people who said that there would be announcements there was the Electronic Software Association.
Yeah.
In a press
So, like,
release, they said
they
there will
did
be new
release-
game announcements.
They announced awards and they gave them out, but it was very unceremonious. Like I was shocked that it was kind of like a speed run of awards.
Yeah.
That were just seem like best of show for every show, which is not that interesting to me.
That's not even how awards
viewer.
work.
like
Like everybody
don't know-
won.
I don't know if you've ever like done the E3 awards before this, but they're like a different thing where like to be eligible for an E3 award, someone has to one, be designated a judge, and two, they have to be able to like the game has to be controllable. So like you can they basically take the judge into a room, say just touch the controller, like show that this is like an actual thing that moves, and then you can actually just give a trailer an award. It had some semblance of like whatever to it, but now it's weird because like who's judging what? What are we judging on? Like, did the CG trailers get an award? If they do, you can't prove that those are actually like playable demos in any way.
I mean, those wheels for Forza looked pretty round.
I guess it's just a different thing because they didn't really do Judges Week in the most like the way that they used to do it, and it was
Which is like that was a Keeley joint, which means they probably won't ever do Judges Week again.
Yeah. We were talking right before this about how I believe Jeff's going to get together with like Reed Pop or something and start his own thing next year, and it's going to be a bloodbath all over again.
Right, because the plan was for E3 2020 was that Jeff was going to work with IM 8-Bit and the ESA to make E3 legitimately interesting. So now I think he's just going to call IM 8-Bit and then Reed Pop, and then they're going to try to book the convention center out from underneath the ESA.
We see what you're doing, Jeff. We know it's gonna happen. But listen,
that would be wild.
That would be super wild. This last day of E3 was pretty jam packed, and it was kicked off by the Nintendo Direct this morning, which was full of stuff. Some things that we did not expect at all, which we can get into, but then some things we did expect. I think most of us expected to see a glimpse at Breath of the Wild 2. We did see a full 1.5 plus trailer.
It's the blood juice, Link. Link. Oh, Link here. It's the blood hole. Link.
I think I'll do my very best to just kind of describe what we saw in the most literal terms, and then we can go from there. And there's a reason I frame it this way. Is we saw basically a lot of Breath of the Wild-esque gameplay. We saw some islands in the sky, which is reminiscent of Skyward Sword. We can talk about what that maybe means. We saw some new items. We saw Link with like a corrupted arm. We saw
Slime Link, Slime Link.
Slime
on
Slime
screen.
Link.
Slink.
We heard the entire Breath of the Wild theme backwards in this thing. It was a pretty wild trailer, and we saw some pretty wild stuff. Funke, I'll start with you. What did you think of what we saw from Breath of the Wild 2?
I'm very excited. It said, I mean, we were on the stream this morning on twitch.tv/fanbyte. Just fanbyte. And I saw like, I don't know, everything I really wanted to see, just like a extended trailer, more than what we've seen in the past. It seems like they're building off of a lot of the elements I really enjoyed from Breath of the Wild. I don't know. I'm not really a Zelda head. Breath of the Wild's the only one that I really like fell into. So I really hope that they catch me again with Breath of the Wild 2. TBH.
TBH. Yeah, it looked really cool. Niki, I know you put a lot of time in the original Breath of the Wild. What did you think of this?
Why the hair different, you think?
Why the hair different, you think?
Do we want to get into theories already? Like,
Yeah, let's fucking pull
I
it.
have
Pull
theories.
it off.
I think
Why the
I
hair
think
different, you think?
I think it's okay that we get into
cut
that
it.
because I do think it's vital to. I don't think it's. I think it's okay if we spoil some stuff from the original Breath of the Wild. I think it's okay. I'm
Zelda's in
curious.
it.
Why is the hair different?
So, like,
Why
from
the
a,
hair
from a
different?
video game perspective, like, it's probably so you can tell the direction he's, like, falling or moving or whatever. But
Sure.
from, like, a character perspective, I'm going to bet that's not Link. They go through great efforts to not show that guy's face.
Yeah, and also this
What?
is if this is Link, hair is different on this guy.
Yeah.
On blue shirt lad, it's different hair.
I believe so. What we see, and because this is also going up on our audio feed, of course, what we're talking about is that you get to see glimpses of the very, very like iconic Breath of the Wild Link with the blue tunic, with the pulled back hair, with the little side folly pieces. I don't know how to describe those. And you see that Link, but you also see a different Link with a little bit of like a one shoulder tunic thing and some big scrappy sandals and a mane of hair that flaps in the breeze, and they make great efforts to not show that Link's face.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
because
they
it's
are
Mario.
doing a full model switcheroo on some of this stuff.
Mm.
I think that Link running around with the blue tunic that just looks like the regular Breath of the Wild tunic.
Yeah.
I don't
It
even
is
think
not
that's
real.
in the game. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think
Really?
You're actually riding
Oh,
the
you
whole
think they're
time.
pulling like a Marvel thing of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we're just going to make a fake trailer.
I think they
Yeah.
did what Last of Us 2 did. I think they did what Metal Gear Solid
Metal
2
Gear
did,
Solid
where
2.
they're putting wrong models in these places to show us something different. That's what I think. Now,
God, that
some
would
people,
be cool as hell.
because I just don't think we're going to see the exact same Link twice. I think the stuff that we're seeing on the ground is maybe Zelda, and the stuff that we're seeing in the sky is a different version of Link.
Really?
Yeah. But
Interesting.
I could be easily convinced otherwise. because
How's
I've read
Zelda
some really
fallen?
good
But
reviews.
Zelda fallen big a hole.
Yeah,
kind of at
but
the
they-
beginning.
And then she came
but
back
this-
up. We don't know.
But Nikki, the
So,
sound
like, in
was
the-
backwards when that happened.
In the previous trailer, the trailer from 2
She
years
was
ago.
coming out of the hole.
In the trailer from 2 years ago, you see someone like Zelda also fall and someone grab her with that like weird glowing hand that Link has.
Yep.
Presumably, like my bet is that thing that we've always been assuming is Ganondorf is not actually Ganondorf. It is like the original hero from 10,000 years ago, or whatever the tapestry story was that Impa kept telling. And you go back and forth through time, and they're connected by that hand.
If you go back and play the original Breath of the Wild, the story they tell about the hero of time, that dude has red flowing hair and does not look like Link. Straight up.
That's kind of red hair at the start of the trailer.
Right. So
What are those-
what I'm saying is that I think a few things are happening. One, that the guy with the mane here, this guy falling right here,
Yeah.
that guy's
Mhm.
hair is red, and it's going to be red in the game. That's my theory. I have like I fully think they've messed with us on a few major things here. But
Mhm.
let's talk about gameplay for a second. Imran, we saw some new mechanics. We saw some stuff that definitely intrigued me in terms of like the evolution of some of the powers that you can play with. What stood out to you when you watched this trailer?
The most interesting thing was you have access to some sort of time travel power, because there was that thing with him, like a ball was rolling down and Link managed to actually like push it forward, like push it back to where it came from. So I imagine we're gonna get a whole new set of 4 powers, probably not the same like magnesis and all that stuff again. They also showed some other stuff that I'm not sure is like a weapon or if it's like an actual, Sheikah Slate power, like a flamethrower, the ability to like swim up through ground, and something weird with it might still be time travel, but making water go like, or reversing time of water essentially. And that
Yeah,
might be just a
right.
separate thing, but like
Mhm.
I'm guessing time is going to be a big aspect of this, because Nintendo is very, very reactive to Zelda.
Yeah.
They will, maybe not always in the way people want, but they will hear the big complaint about whatever the new Zelda game is, and they will overreact to it in a way that is like unlike anything else they do. So I think people's big complaints about this or the last Zelda was the dungeons were just not a thing, really. They were like, you
Right.
go into them, you solve a couple of puzzles, you beat a boss. That's not that great. I expect what they're going to do is like, okay, we're going to focus on making the 4 items a lot more Zelda-like and making those the real central conceit of what you do here.
Interesting.
Mm.
Nikki,
Jordan, our producer, says that, and I agree with Jordan, that they might add the rocket launcher and sword from Halo into this,
Oh,
which would kind of change fundamentally
It
the
would.
way that this game plays. No, I don't know. I'm eager to see. This game will not recapture the magic of the first one, regardless of how hard Nintendo tries. And I think that is going to the actual conversation here is going to be whether or not Nintendo acknowledges the fact that they're not going to be able to do it again and just tries to do something different, or if they're going to chase that goose again and try to do it as good as they did it the first time. Which, if they're doing that, they're not going to hit it. Like, they're just absolutely not going to hit that mark.
Definitely.
I mean, they might, but like, they're probably not. So I don't
That's
know.
a very
This
hard task to do.
Yeah, this is one of those things where like I didn't watch any gameplay of Breath of the Wild after that, whatever the last trailer was.
The launch trailer, yeah.
Yeah, so like I went into it basically knowing nothing. So this is probably the last thing I'll watch of this video game before I end up playing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also agree with that, Nikki. The first time I played it, I was like, whoa, this world is incredible. And I think the thing that really sunk its hooks into me was the exploration elements. Not as much the plot or the story, but like just exploring the land and kind of just like climbing up a really tall mountain with no stamina and falling over and like trying to do that again and coming back with more stamina. But I really do hope that, because I spent a lot of time in that game before I beat like the final boss. But I hope that it gets me more with story this time, because already from the aesthetics and what the possible theories I saw online, I was like, damn, this could be some crazy stuff they do with the story. And I'd love to see like different timelines and like pulling from Ganon, maybe not being like a villain and being like a hero. Because I said this morning, but like I'm tired of fighting Ganon. You fight so many Ganons, like in all Zelda, but especially that game. So yeah, and also I'm just getting like a late game Adventure Time vibe from this. I don't know. I'm really like when it like
it's
gets
the arm,
super.
it's the blonde hair.
Yeah. It's all there, but like I don't know when it gets more self-serious, and I kind of dig that for this game, and I want them to take risk in story, because I kind of like how it seems like they're building on top of like mechanics that did very well in the game. So yeah, if they do like a wilder story like that is what I want from this.
I guess the other question I have is like, I assume it's going to be the same Hyrule, right? Like that
the ground looks the same. Like
the
it's hard to
ground
say.
looks the same, right?
The ground of
so
Hyrule
like,
looks the same.
If anything, different time period or something,
right? So like, is the modification going to be like if you move forward in time? Because like a lot of the buildings, and there's an incredible article about this on fanbyte.com. But like a lot of the structures in Breath of the Wild are very clearly like they've been destroyed, but at one point they were very powerful, very permanent feeling structures and places. Unless the time travel aspect of this is you then can rebuild these spaces, I really like Breath of the Wild. The thing I don't want to do again is have to explore a version of Hyrule that I already explored. If there's
that's
unless if the only thing they're adding is up,
nothing. Right.
Like if the thing that they're adding is up and down, like that's interesting. But like, how long am I going to be up and how long am I going to be down for? I would assume that most of the time I'm going to be running around.
It's interesting you mentioned that, Niki, because like one of the scenes that shows like Link on the ground, like while the Talus is waking up in Bokoblins, they all have longer horns, which they should not be like more powerful because Ganon is gone. Like they were only around because he was like messing up the place. So that does imply that at least some time has changed. And like that's one of the scenes that makes me like believe John's theory that like Nintendo's kind of just like messing with the footage because I don't know, that just seems one way too Breath of the Wild, but two has like enough details that are off to me.
I think we have seen elements of its real setting and tone in this trailer. I actually think we saw very little real shit today. In a real way. Like I feel like we saw the engine in motion, we saw our old favorites, we saw some like stuff that looks really familiar but also a little bit different. We saw some mysterious stuff. We saw evolution of powers. Like the evolution of powers stuff is, I think, something that they showed us. They really showed us. I think a lot of other things like the game setting and when it is, we genuinely have no idea. I think there's a big mystery here, and they said this afternoon they know what the name of this game is. It's not Breath of the Wild 2, because they've been very deliberately calling it the sequel to Breath of the Wild. They know what the subtitle is, not saying it yet because they think it's going to give away too much.
Death of the Wild.
So
Death of the Wild.
Did you say Death of the Wild? I think it's a great title, but it doesn't make I don't know. Doesn't give away.
Legend of Zelda Death of the Wild.
I think it's going to be Hands Across Time or something like that.
Hands Across Time.
What if it was just Partners in Time? They already have that trademark, right? They wouldn't even have to register it.
Baby Zelda.
I'm gonna ask one more question about this. Imran, that 2022 date, how comfy are you with that?
They said they were targeting 2022, which I don't know if just Nintendo's regular conservative self, but like targeting means that game could slip. And I would not be shocked if it does, but I bet they want this game. The optimistic part of me says they want this game out in this financial year, so probably like March when the original Breath of the Wild came out. But also, I think, like Niki said, they probably realize they're making a sequel to what is commonly considered their best video game. So I would not be shocked if at some point in the last year or two, while they were doing work from home and all that, thinking we gotta really ace this. If we don't,
I think they are in a. It's not the same, but they are in a similar spot with I think Microsoft and Halo, right? Because like it's Nintendo a little bit different, and Microsoft too, because they just bought everybody. But it's like this is the tentpole video game you got, and Microsoft, the last one they made, people didn't like, and those people were wrong because Halo 5 was a good video game, but like people didn't like it. So then when they were like, all right, here it is, and then they were like, everybody said, you sure? They said, you know what? You're right. We're not. We're going to take some more time. And like, I can absolutely see Nintendo doing something similar where they're going to like feel pressured into kicking this down from March into November.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We'll see. I hope the cartridge tastes as good as the last one did.
Yeah, for sure. I know Horizon Zero Dawn is just like, we can't slip into 2022 that far. We have to get
That's
this
the
out.
thing. Like, if you're Sony, like, what are the, like, I don't know. If you're Sony, you're pissed, right? Like, you're really mad right now. Because, like, your whole game right now is you either have to make a decision where you're gonna go first, or do you wait until Nintendo goes first?
No, you don't wait. You launch as early as you possibly can.
Uh-huh.
You should put that game out tomorrow then.
Put
Horizon out tomorrow.
Breath of the Wild 2, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, I should say, looking good. I still kind of don't think we know a lot about this game. I mean, I think we know even less.
I think
than what
it'll
was
be on the
shown.
Nintendo Switch. Do you think we know that?
I think it'll be on the Switch. Yeah.
I think there might be some sort of motion controls. I think the game's going to have music and graphics.
Oh, music.
The fun factor, that's the part that I'm currently concerned about.
Right. Yeah. Do you think it'll get
I hope
all 5s from GamePro for fun factor?
I think GamePro is going to give it all, five down all the way. I hope they give Link a gun. Like, I hope someone in that building played Hades. That's, I guess, the only thing I'm going to say.
I will say, like, before we move on from Breath of the Wild 2, once I saw that trailer, I'm like, oh, that's why they're so insistent on releasing Skyward Sword this summer. Because I feel like there's almost certainly a connection between those two games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the framing of Link or whoever, Greg, I'm gonna call him Greg. The framing of Greg falling out of the sky is exactly the same camera distance and framing of Link falling into and out of Skyloft in Skyward Sword.
That's a very deliberate thing. So get ready in a year and a half for
that might just be a fucking curveball.
Legend of Zelda: Greg of the Wild coming to the
Greg of the Wild.
Greg and Darth.
You know who did get it? Nintendo did give a gun to Samus Aran again.
Finally.
It doesn't really work. It doesn't work.
This was this was maybe the biggest surprise of the week, I think. In terms of just like, hey, we got a brand new 2D Metroid game that's coming out pretty soon. This has a bizarre development history. This game was started development 15 years ago. Sakamoto Yoshio, the producer of the game, talked about it today in a video and was like, hey, we were really excited about this game, but we couldn't really make it work. And so we basically put it on the shelf. And then we saw how well received Samus Returns was on the 3DS. And we were like, hey, can those folks make us this game? And apparently they all said yes. Yeah. So
Funke and I weren't alive back then. We weren't alive yet.
You weren't alive 15 years ago?
That's how long it's been.
You know what I did today? I dusted off my SNES Mini, and I just started playing Super Metroid because I was like, you know what? I got to learn these games. So let's start.
What did you think? What was your first impression? Yeah.
I liked it. I really liked the intro. I was like, I do like people going to space and fighting aliens. I'm a big fan of Alien. So I feel like I kind of just... Right? Alien from Fortnite, yeah. Their first movie cameo. But yeah, I don't know. I'm digging it so far. And I think I'm going to start playing more retro games just because, I don't know, I have the means with it with the SNES Mini.
For sure.
Yeah.
Nikki, what did you think of the trailer we saw today?
Folks, couldn't give less of a shit about Metroid.
Wow.
I don't care. Here's why. I played Metroid Prime when I was 9, and it scared the shit out of me. Scared the shit out of me. You know, get in that ball and you go through that tunnel and you see that big fucking bug or whatever the fuck that's in that tube, right? You know what I'm talking about. It's the first guy.
Right at the beginning of the game?
The first guy. Yes, the literal first guy you see. And I was like, I'm good. And then I made my mom take it back to the GameStop, and I got something else.
I actually have a very similar story, Nikki, with Super Metroid, because that game scared the shit out of me the first time I rented it. I was like, oh no, because like you start the game and it has that title of the Metroid like in the thing, and like playing this like slow, somber music that sounds
and people
creepy.
Are like dead on the floor.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is space horror. This is sci-fi horror. This is not for like young me.
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't ready, and you know what? I'm still not.
These are scary games. I mean, really, the last original story they did, I believe, was Fusion. Everything else has kind of been like a rehash or reimagining of older games. So this is a continuation of Samus's story. It involves you being the big mechanic that we saw from the trailer involves essentially a Resident Evil Nemesis situation where something is pursuing you essentially the entire time. It's a big robot that can crawl on walls.
It's the dog from Recore.
Right. Yeah, it's the dog from Recore. Well, yeah.
It looks exactly like the dog from Recore.
Other M was another original property, but it wasn't a solely 2D thing. So I guess I'm just including 2D ones. But
it also was an antecedent game. Was not like a sequel to Fusion, which people have been waiting for because it does end on somewhat of a cliffhanger that changes the world.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, we're gonna see a lot. Imran, did you play Samus Returns on 3DS?
I did. I was not happy about it being on 3DS, but I did play it.
I know. Yeah, I was kind of upset about it. Did you like it?
I enjoyed the game quite a bit. So the one problem I have with this game is a very specific problem. That at the end of the Game Boy game, when you kill all the Metroids, you're like tasked with like leaving the planet as you do in every other Metroid game. But it's like this very slow, quiet thing when there's no enemies in your way. When you're doing it in Samus Returns, it's fast and fast-paced and there's plenty of enemies. Like, it changes the tone from like, oh, Samus just genocided an entire planet to, ooh, exciting, let's run.
Yeah. So we did get to see some of the powers and stuff. There's some stealth and like it's gonna be kind of like getting away from a T-Rex in like a Jurassic Park where you got to be real still and be quiet and you can't stay in the sights of this thing. It looks like when it catches up to you, it's gonna kill you instantly, which is pretty wild. Also, one of those things that Nikki hates in games, I think. So,
Nikki, we got to stream some of these together.
Yeah, Nikki,
I'm down. So I can say I played them by having you play them for me.
They say it's going to be out in October 2021. Any other notes here?
How do you think it looks?
I think it looks fine. I don't think it looks in like great or anything. Like there's much better looking Switch games. Period.
Yeah, I mean this looks like an evolution of a 3DS game.
Yes.
Yeah.
We kept seeing in the main trailer it was oscillating between some kind of rendered story footage and some what looked like game footage at the bottom. It also said not gameplay footage, so we don't really know what we're seeing. The development video we also saw later in the day, it looked like a lot more actual in-game footage was shown during that. So it looks fine. It looks like a really like a nice 3DS game, like the evolution of a 3DS game essentially. So yeah, I don't know, looks fine. You can
I'm fine with like slightly like less better looking graphics as long as the frame rate is a constant 60. Like, and it looks to be that way, so that's good.
Yeah.
I have one final question about this.
Yeah, what's up?
Why won't Nintendo that Samus Returns came out in when 1993? When did that 3DS game come out? It was like 2000 and
like
2017.
Like
it was the year
17.
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago.
2017. Why can't I play that now? Like, why isn't Nintendo going to give me the opportunity to play this?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Someone
because like this seems.
Twitter... Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say this seems like a wild one to have people be their first one to me.
Yeah, which is it's going to be a lot of people's first ones because like the Switch sells software in a way that like the 3DS and Wii U and Wii did not.
It just seems just seems like such a like pairing this with Samus Returns in a $60 bundle seems like to me a good thing, but like I don't know, like it's just gonna who gives a shit about Metroid because nobody's gonna be able to play it. Like, because no one's been able to play it for like 5 years.
I mean, it's a legacy title, but also it's like it's a solid action franchise. I don't know.
It's also one of those things that like no one's ever. Metroid games don't sell. Nintendo makes them because people keep complaining. Like that's the long and short of it. But like I once talked to. I'm not gonna say the developer because I don't want to like out them. But I was like, why is this game that's clearly out after the Switch still on 3DS? And they got really mad because like, do you know how fucking hard it is to put a 3DS game on Switch? It is not at all easy. Like we'd love to do it if we could.
Yeah,
I can just click and drag.
It's you can play Super Metroid on your Switch right now. Yeah, you can. You can also do
You can.
that. So on the
Yes.
Super Nintendo thing, it's also on this SNES Classic, as Funke said. Gosh, was anyone surprised that we didn't hear anything about Metroid? Well, we did hear that it's still in development, but we don't know
No.
anything else about Metroid Prime 4.
No.
Yeah. They, by the way, they acknowledge that this is probably the first game for a lot of people, first Metroid game. They say this, the developers basically give you a rundown of like,
Here's
Samus
what
is a bounty
Metroid is.
hunter, and
I see.
it involves a lot of exploration. So like they get it.
Mhm.
They get that this is
All
going
right.
to be the first one for a lot of people.
It does, like what Nikki was saying is true. It does seem very hectic, and like running from that thing while you're new to these mechanics and stuff seems like a lot for a first time Metroid player. So hopefully they do like have a solid onboarding for people.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited to see it. All right, let's move on. We also saw an extended trailer for Shin Megami Tensei 5, which looked very cool, very, very cool. We
Mhm.
also got 20 minutes of gameplay in the Treehouse. This is out in November 2021, according to Nintendo. Imran, I'll start with you. We saw a lot of kind of the very first trailer we saw of this was a while ago, and we saw some of the same story beats at the very beginning, but then we saw some gameplay in action. What stood out for you here?
The first and most immediate thing is they usually don't do female protagonists. Like they do
Yeah.
sometimes in like
Yeah.
these kind of games, but like I want to say this is the first one for SMT outside of like some deuteragonist in the first two games. But they just went straight up. Hey, here's a female high school student that is the main character. Oh wait, he's a dude. Brennan's saying. Don't. Okay, sure. All right, then I am wrong there. He's just androgynous dude. But
Damn.
I'm getting worried that okay, no.
as long as people have made the mistake with me, I don't feel bad. But yeah, this game does look extremely cool.
Right.
They went to a more open world look for this thing. That
Yes.
like you in Shin Megami Tensei 4, you basically had a map, and that map would take you to different dungeon aspects of it, and like you travel along using that map, and like that was fine. That's kind of what I expected of an Atlas RPG. They seem to be doing a lot more with this now. They have, I think they're reusing some 3D models, but they're also making a lot more interesting ones too.
What is the weakness?
The weakness for that
Ice.
thing was ice. Yeah, and you get number of actions there, Nikki. I don't know if you noticed
Nikki,
that.
every single time I see a large all caps weakness now, that's all I can think about is what is the weakness. Anyway, Imran,
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Continue.
I like the part where they're talking about how demon negotiate. Like they explain demon negotiate in every new game, but like I like that they said sometimes you just tell the demon to like leave and they'll join you anyway, which is the energy I aspire to of like that's cool. I'm just gonna hang around anyway.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chill out anyway. We also saw in the Japanese gameplay trailer of this game, which also got dropped later this afternoon. There were more shots of your demon companion, and they actually run behind you. In the
Oh
open
god, that's
world.
gonna be
So-
terrifying
pocket
sometimes.
So regardless of size too. So like the scale, if you have a huge demon, it's like twice your size or
Ew.
3 times your
Yeah.
size running behind you. It's really rad.
Which means they're gonna do Mora. They have to put Mora in this game as a
Right.
demon that can walk behind you.
Yes, yeah, they absolutely do. Funke,
Uh,
I really
do
don't-
you,
Oh, sorry, yeah.
no, I was just going to ask you, like, what's your history with the series? Have you played these or the Persona games? Like, do you like them?
No, I've never played one of these games because everyone's like, they're so hard, but they're great. And I'm like, I don't really want to play hard shit. No offense. Like, that seems like a lot for me. But I have played Persona 5 and 4. I kind of trailed off with them, though, because they were just like hundreds of hours or over 100 hours. Like, when I realized, I was like, oh, like I'm not even halfway through, but I've spent like more time than I've spent on any other game this year. So I kind of like shelved it and didn't go back to it. But this is looking interesting. And I feel like, I don't know, I want to get into one of these one day, but I don't know where to start. So if this is a good intro point, then that would be cool. I know we have like LB and Steven who are pretty hyped on this. In chat, they said, yeah, he who.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be hitting them up after this and check out what's up.
Yeah, Nikki. I
Yeah, you're gonna
pretty
ask
much
me
already
about
know
my
the answer.
history with the series?
I'm not gonna ask you your history because I already know the answer to that. What I'll
Wait, no,
say,
I like the Onion guy though.
The Onion Guy's
okay,
great.
what I'll
Onion
ask
guy was good.
you is, did this trailer sell you on maybe
No,
trying out the
no,
series? No.
I'm good.
It's
Why-
a very
why do
not
you-
Nikki game. I understand that
No.
completely.
Yeah.
This guy is cool. I mean, here's I think why these ones don't speak to me, and it is the thing that Funke said is like they are interminable.
Right. They're long.
They're
I
very
it's
long, and I don't
Atlas
have the
has
attention span for that.
Atlas
No.
RPGs have dedicated fan bases that are completely okay with the way that these games are structured and the length of all of them. All
Yeah.
I want is for them at some point to make a game with an editor's eye. I would love
Yeah.
to see a truncated, edited,
Those would
briskly
hit.
paced Atlas RPG. I would love to see
Yeah.
that at some point. But
I think
for the folks that love this looks
Yeah.
like more of that, and everyone's probably super excited about
No,
it.
Atlas
I
thing
think-
is making a long game and then making a longer version of that long game.
yeah, after.
Yeah.
Now,
I
I'm being told, by the way, that Digital Devil Saga is this, and I disagree with that. I still think that game needed editing. Anyway, go ahead.
I
Digital Devil
need-
Saga's problem is that every dungeon is a giant maze, and it's not
Yeah.
like all that interesting.
Right.
What do you need, Nikki?
I need Atlas. I need Atlas to make one of these into the Final Fantasy VII remake.
What
that
does
make sense?
mean? What is,
Which
what
by
does
which
that
I mean like they've taken a game that to me heretofore seemed like a thing that I was absolutely not interested in. Many people liked. They were like, we're gonna make it very pretty, and we're going to make it a third-person character action game that takes a lot of the aspects of games that I already know how to play, and then marries them with things that would be classically attributed to a Final Fantasy. And you still get a lot of the Final Fantasy bullshit in there. That all that shit's still in there. And like I
That
didn't
sounds
get
really
it, but I
good.
really, really enjoyed it.
You want Raito Kuzunoha, which has not been released for modern systems.
Yeah.
But Nikki, that doesn't fix the length problem because like Final Fantasy VII Remake is like 40-ish hours, but that's only like the first third of the game.
Right. The story.
So
right.
of the story
Yeah.
of like the original Final Fantasy VII. So like it's going to be 3 times as long of a game.
But I can
And
do I can do
Yeah.
40 at a
you can
time.
do 40.
Right. Okay.
Ah.
You might be able to do some of those PS2 era games, then maybe.
I'm not gonna
But,
play a PlayStation 2 game.
Why not?
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
It's like
Fair
it's like putting out like different foods for a baby, being like what they're shaking their head at and what they're actually
Yeah.
gonna eat.
It's so true. Well, all I'll say is like I played Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. I've played the Persona series. I do think these games are usually a little overstuffed, but I have to say, like exploring
Yes.
another Tokyo, which is what they call the setting, with all this demon shit, I'm willing to give this a go, especially on Switch. So yeah, I don't know. Looks pretty
I'm really happy for everybody.
Yeah.
really
It
happy
comes
for
in
everyone.
just a couple of months. November is not that far away.
But Paul in chat does say, "I'm really happy for you," or "I'm sorry I ain't playing all."
Yeah,
that."
thank
So-
you, Paul. I was alone
So
for so
true.
long and only liking
but-
good video games.
I know folks are psyched about this, and I think like in terms of showing off the mechanics and kind of the stuff that I think Shin Megami Tensei fans are like dying for, they like Atlas showed out today. They had like a beefy 3-minute trailer. They had 20 minutes of Treehouse content. If you haven't watched that stuff and you like the series, like you're gonna love those 25-ish minutes total of new content. I think it's gonna really satiate you until November. So yeah, that looked pretty good. Let's move on to maybe the funniest reveal of the Nintendo
Punch
Direct.
Out. It's coming back.
It was
Little
of
Mac.
course the reveal that that Merritt basically called, which is amazing. That Kazuya Mishima, protagonist, antagonist, protagonist, antagonist, protagonist, and then finally
Guy.
protagonist of Tekken is the new Smash character. We saw him throw Ganondorf and fucking every Captain Falcon and fucking everyone into a volcano.
Min Pit.
This was a riot. Funke, tell me about Kazuya Mishima in Smash.
This is a reveal that I'm actually pretty excited for. At the start, I was like, okay, this is cool, but seeing his abilities and seeing how he actually plays is what got me excited. Like a little freak that I am, I watched the reveal like a bunch after, and I was just like trying to see what moves could be what. And his kit looks bonkers. Like if you're watching the stream right now, he has a move where it seems like they're pulling from like actual other 3D fighters, because I guess Smash technically is one, but he like weaves through fireball, so it seems like he has an ability that is kind of like a spot dodge, but you can move while you are fighting. So like that is just like, that's something that's going to get so many people cheesed. And if you're watching on stream, he's throwing people into a volcano right now.
He throws whatever Fire Emblem that was so high before they end it.
He flails his arms like we know you fucking hate these guys. Here we go.
Never again. But yeah, I mean, I wanted going into this, I wanted to see 2 reveals, but we have one. There's still one more fighter that's unrevealed for the last pass for Ultimate. But this is a good get. Like I'm glad they didn't go with another Pokemon or another Fire Emblem character, which would have been so safe and so boring. But yeah, this is like another franchise that I'm like, okay, this is a fighting game, and all the fighting game characters that they've added, I've had a lot of fun with, especially Terry. So I hope they add some like special controls that you can do to I don't know, make this guy more powerful, and we'll find out more about that in I think June 28th. At the
28th is when Sakurai is going to do all the deep dive 30-minute presentations he usually does for each character reveal. So we should know more about whether or not Kazuya actually controls like he does in Tekken, or if it's just more of a general kit that just looks like Tekken moveset.
So I have a theory with this character inclusion.
Please,
As we know, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is developed by Bandai Namco. It has a lot of people that like come in and out of various teams, including like Tails teams and like the Tekken team. I think this like what you mentioned, Funke, about the spot dodges, I think that was meant to be a part of Street Fighter versus Tekken, or Tekken versus Street Fighter, the Bandai Namco version of that. Because that is always the question of like, how is that going to work? Because everyone in Street Fighter has a projectile and no one in Tekken does. I think that they went like, this game isn't going to exist. It's never going to get done. Let's just put that shit into Smash Brothers.
Yo.
I think you're right. That theory sounds right to me, because I at the end of this, I also looked at someone and said, where is Tekken versus Street Fighter? That thing is never coming out. Like, who would have thought that that Kazuya and Smash would make it before this game that was announced? When was that announced? Like 8 years ago or something?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, Imran. I think that's probably a mechanic that they were going to do, and then it's just in this.
I like that a lot. Okay. Yeah. Also, just like his combos on screen, like not a lot of Smash characters can like string along punches and jabs like that.
It's a 10-hit string.
Yeah, it literally goes all the way to the end of the stage, which most Smash characters, it's like one big move and like someone goes flying. But this seems much more like another fighting game outside of Smash. So I'm here for it. Like, I'm down to learn that.
Looks pretty cool. Hey, Niki, who would you throw in a volcano in this roster?
All of the Fire Emblems.
All of the Fire Emblems.
Like, nobody's going to miss or like, I guess I could just pick one. Like, they're not going to miss them, right? Like, you're not going to know that one of them's gone.
Where's Bob?
Yeah, like,
not here.
Not Bob. Yeah. I guess I'll pick one of the other 8 Bobs. Who do you think the last one's going to be? I think it might be Steel Diver from the Steel Diver 3DS game, the submarine.
Okay.
I think whoever it is, everyone's going to be real mad. Because it's just not who they want it to be.
Right.
I would actually like it to be Master Chief.
That as well. Like I think first of all, it should be something very weird. No matter what it is, I don't care if it's like from a series I like or I enjoy. It's got to be a deep cut or something that I'm like, what? But like, because those are always the best ones. I feel like Piranha Plant, when I saw Banjo and Kazooie, I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I play those characters and I'm like, it is so cool how you imagine these people in a fighting game environment. And I think that's the coolest part about Nintendo borrowing IPs from other people. I know it is safer, obviously, for them to go within like the Nintendo franchises they already own and stuff. But no, I want something out there. I want them to like get a partnership that I'm surprised by, and I want that character
Right.
to be very smooth and like really shake up the gameplay. Because yeah,
You got-
when oh yeah,
No, go
sorry.
for it.
Oh, when these reveals come out and these characters drop, I feel like there's a resurgence in at least my friends and like people I see online playing Smash. So I really like that. And when it's a bad character, a character that I'm not too psyched on, I'm like, okay, I played this game for a week. But if it's a character that I'm really hyped on, I'll keep playing it for like another month or so. So hopefully it gets people back on it for the last character, because then we don't know what's happening with Ultimate or any Smash Bros in general. So
We have
That's
some
gonna be
two
weird.
things
in
real
the
quick.
chat, like John Cena. John Cena would be good.
Getz would be
Popeye,
good.
Commander
Costanza.
Shepard, Sakurai himself. Imran, what were you gonna say?
So one of the things is I noticed in the trailer that spot dodge was against Ken, so that I feel like that more or less confirms that theory I had.
Yeah.
Two, I am extremely excited for an entirely new fan base to find out about the weird Tekken story,
Yeah.
because it has gone so far off the rails that I'm
so
excited for just people on Twitter to be like, he started a world war for what? Why did he do that?
The devil what now? The devil gene? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I will at least I'll fuck around with Kazuya Mishima when this comes out. We should definitely do a fight night over at Fanbite.
We should.
for the,
absolutely when this guy
absolutely
drops.
that. That's gonna be fun. All right, let's move on, shall we? This was a reveal that Funke was super excited about.
Yeah.
So I want to get their take on the new WarioWare right away. It's WarioWare Get It Together, a brand new Switch original WarioWare game. I cannot remember. I should have looked it up. I cannot remember the last time we got an original WarioWare game, but this one looks cool.
There was an eShop
Yeah.
one on 3DS, I think, that would use the
3DS
camera.
and eShop, yeah. So Funke, you were super excited about this. Tell us how you feel now. Now that you've had like a full day to think about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was realizing that like what I don't like about Mario Party, I love about WarioWare. It seems like what I don't know what they wanted Mario Party to be. Like this is the perfect party game to me. Just micro games where you can pick it up at any time. Anyone can really understand what's going on. It just takes a second. You can pick it up, put it down. It seems like from what I saw from the Treehouse stuff, it is a story mode. It's going a different angle than the other ones, where it would put up an environment, which we'll see on the screen if you're watching on Twitch. It would put up like a scene and you kind of figure out who your character is on the screen and what you're doing in terms of the minigame. But this one, actually, you pick a crew, select a crew of 3 people who all have different abilities. Like some people can fly, some people jump, some people throw things, and that affects how you actually approach each minigame. Like Wario has a jetpack, so he can like swim around in the air like that. And yeah, I think it's gonna be very fun. When I just saw the trailer, I was like, oh, these guys seem kind of annoying, and I like kind of like my mind jumping and being like, okay, what is happening here?
Right.
But I still see some of that all of that effect isn't gone with this, because you are still thrown into like a random scene and you have 4 seconds to figure that out. I don't know. This is very fun, and I'm excited because I feel like Nintendo forgot about this game. Like I've felt like that for a while, and
Right.
I've kind of had to go to. I played this game called Spookware from the Dread X collection, which was like WarioWare, but they were all skeletons, and it was a very cool indie game, which y'all should check out. But yeah, that was scratching that itch for me. I'm just excited that they didn't forget about the series, and it's coming out so soon. I don't know. I'm gonna have so much fun with this. I'm very excited.
That's awesome. Niki, what did you think?
I'm very excited. I played a shit ton of WarioWare Twisted and the one on the game, whatever the one on the GameCube was.
Mega
I'm
Micro
excited.
Party Games.
Mega Micro, yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
I love that
I played a lot
Yes.
of that game.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to
I'll,
play
I'll
this.
make an observation and then I'll ask Imran and everyone else to kind of respond to it. I feel like, and you touched on this, Funke, that like I think the charm of this series initially for me was that if there was no little guy on the screen, it didn't read as a
Mhm.
Nintendo game for me. So it was this
Yes.
kind of like bizarre, weird, I can't believe they let a team make this game kind of internally kind of feeling.
Mhm.
And now that these little guys are running around, now it's kind of more like this is a Nintendo game. And I don't know if that does it for me. Imran, what do you think about what I just said?
It definitely looks odd, and like I'm not sure I necessarily like the art style of like this plain like these different kinds of backgrounds with this like uniform 3D model that's on screen.
Right.
But I don't know. WarioWare has been fun in multiplayer, and
Sure.
I'm
Mhm.
willing to like try it out.
Mhm.
Like it's gonna. I know what I want from WarioWare is them telling me press A button and then me figuring that out, and like that's the micro game concept that I love from WarioWare. But I
Right.
also think if they charged me $50 for that today, I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this might be a more interesting thing. I'm amenable to a co-op WarioWare.
Right.
But I think the danger of this one is though that it's going to be this was designed for co-op and there's a single player mode, but you shouldn't play that.
Right.
There was
Yeah.
also like multiplayer modes in WarioWare in the past. This seems like a co-op for the story mode. So hopefully they have like other multiplayer games and stuff because they have a lot. I know in the Treehouse they revealed that they brought 9 volts Nintendo Classics back, which is very fun, and it's like
Yeah.
Wario riffs on just Nintendo games. And from the 3
Right.
that they showed it was like Animal Crossing, Ice Climbers, Luigi's Mansion. Very fun, and I just like kind of like that as a Nintendo museum that you kind of just play around with,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they're not as serious with their brands there. It's a cool time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm excited that they brought the franchise back. I mean, like it's definitely good to know that like folks still love this game, this series enough to mess with it, because I definitely had some fun times with it in it's really like post college for me, but yeah, it
Mm.
was a good time.
Mhm.
When Nikki was a baby,
I was a
when
baby.
was a baby. All right, let's move on. This is we're getting close to the end of the Nintendo section, but I was super excited to see Advance Wars 1 and 2 reboot
Yeah,
camp.
baby.
One of those Game Boy Advance series that I poured a lot of time into in the back seats of cars on road trips and stuff. Imran, I'll start with you. Were you excited to see the return of this franchise?
Yes and no. Like
Okay.
I feel like Advance Wars time. Everyone always clamors for more Advance Wars. I'm like they did a bunch of Advance Wars and that game never really changed. So I don't think
Sure.
necessarily they need to do more. But like
Mhm.
it's cool they're bringing it back. It's cool that they're bringing back 2 of the best games. I don't. I dig the 2D art of the characters.
Right.
I think the 3D art of everything else looks a little bad. Like it looks budget for, and it's a $60 game, so it's not a budget game. I will probably still break down and buy this anyway, but it's not as like it is a cool filler announcement for the Switch of like it's cool that Advance Wars fans get this, and it'll be a
Yeah.
nice thing to have
Right.
like this holiday. But I don't think I'm not losing my mind over it.
Yeah. Nikki, you played a lot of Advance
Yeah,
Wars.
I thought they forgot.
Yeah.
Just thought
Yeah.
they forgot.
Yeah, that seems like a
And they
theme of
didn't.
this direct. Like they remembered.
Yeah, they remembered.
They remember.
They knew.
remember.
They walked into the closet and they were like, "Oh fuck, we got all this."
If you've never played if you've never played an Advance Wars game, there's
That's me.
a tactical element to it, and so but then you have these units, and they do this like it's a little bit like Fire Emblem in the sense that
Mhm.
you'll then enter into kind of this one-on-one unit versus unit battle,
Yeah.
and then take turns against each other, and its simplicity is really its strength, but there's a ton of depth in that simplicity. It's a little bit like something like Into the Breach. It's a little bit like something like a Fire Emblem, but just a little more tactical. And they've updated the art style a bit. Nikki, what did you think about the updates, the art style, and also just the game in general?
Like I'm
Art
mostly
style, not
excited
so much?
because it's Advance Wars. I didn't
Sure.
think It looks like a mobile game a little bit to me.
Well, it looks like a way forward game, which it is.
Yeah,
Like they've confirmed
it
way
is.
forward's doing it.
Yeah.
And just like it like doesn't. If I were to bring Advanced Wars into the year of our Lord 2021, this is not what the video game would look like if I were making it.
I can see
But
that.
I mean, I don't know.
It looks cute
It's
though.
chill.
As
Yeah,
someone
like,
who's never played it, I'm like, these guys, I like them. Why are they fighting?
Yeah.
where they
That's
fight.
always been the weird thing about it is like they don't know why they're like everyone's like war is fun. I'm like we killed a bunch of people here.
Yeah, they
Oh
don't
no.
fully contextualize a lot of what's happening all the time. It's just kind of like we're in this war. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Also, our producer Jordan says in chat, if only there were a way to still play Game Boy Advance games. True. Someone should develop a software like that.
To figure out.
yeah.
It's just bizarre that they charge so much for these kind of
just
games.
think about it this way, though, right? Like, what each Game Boy Advance game was $59.99, $49.99. If you add those together, that's $100. You're saving $40 here.
right.
Stop.
Yeah, no, that's,
They have
that's
you in the
just
offices,
math.
I swear.
That's math.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
I will say there are a lot of GBA holdovers that like, yeah, they should just make it really easy to officially play GBA stuff, but unofficially, it's still pretty easy to do. So.
there's
Yeah.
no way. I mean, the Switch
I
is not
would like-
powerful enough, right?
I would like if they started remaking some GB like if this is on like a docket with like Golden Sun somewhere down the line, I'd be like, all right, yeah, let's remake some shit.
Yeah,
Bring back the Octai. Give me a Sun sensor that I plugged in the USB slot or the USB-C port.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, so Advanced Wars looks pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. The art style stuff definitely reminds me of a not so great mobile game. I definitely agree with that criticism. I'm wondering if we're gonna see maybe some changes between now and release. I kind of doubt it, but yeah, this
like,
is the
I
same
think-
basic gameplay. I'm excited.
I think if you didn't tell me this was Advance Wars, I would be like,
Yeah.
wow, someone made a game that is kind of like Advance Wars, but doesn't look like Advance Wars, you know?
Right.
So that's the thing is like a lot of people have made games like I want to say it's Tiny Metal is like an Advance Wars like style game, and they make like the graphics are better, but they're also much harder to read. So I can kind of understand why they went with a more simplistic look, but it's the actual in battle things that I think look bad. Of like, okay, you guys there could be some black lines on things here. It would not look bad if they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious.
It's
if this is gonna
Nintendo, though, small
retain
business.
A small business. They can't.
Yeah.
The budget.
I'm curious if this will retain kind of the charm that the original had. But yeah, we'll see. If it's the same gameplay, I'm still
Yeah.
excited about it.
OC for Cat in chat is correct. In a show where we also got Metal Slug Tactics, this game
Right.
looks like dog shit.
Yeah,
But also, if you're
Metal-
the developers of Metal Slug Tactics and you saw this like reveal, you'd probably like, oh god damn it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
a
like-
big. Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree with that too. It is weird. There's a lot of folks that are super excited about the Advanced Wars stuff that might have forgotten for a nanosecond about the Metal Slug Tactics stuff because
Now,
yeah,
Metal
but
Gear Tactics.
Metal Gear Tactics. Let's think about that. Metal Slug Tactics looks great though. All right, let's move on to some Nintendo cleanup. There was a lot of stuff announced, honestly, and you can check out the entire list over at fanbyte.com. Imran put up a wonderful list of everything, so thank you so much.
This is a Dave and Buster's game. Like, you can't put these on the Switch.
All right.
There has never been a good game with the name Cruisin' ever.
So
Wow.
Cruisin' Class is, I guess, an update to the Cruisin' USA franchise. It is a racing game. It is an arcade racer. Someone pointed out in the talk over today that the color palette of this game is just bizarre. Like,
Yeah.
fucking
It looks
purge
like
and rainbow, and it's weird. Yeah.
it looks like it's supposed to, like, you're supposed to be walking past it in a Chuck E. Cheese or a Dave and Buster's. And you're supposed to
Right.
look to your right and be like, "What the fuck is this?" And then you're
This
like, "Oh,
looks
it's
like
a racing game."
It
And
looks
then you
like a
play it,
midway
though.
arcade game.
It's
a
literally
midway
made by
arcade
the people who make the arcade games. This is Raw
Right.
Thrills. That's them.
Right.
It looks designed to just like destroy bitrate compression. Like
Yeah.
there's like no other purpose of this game besides like we're gonna fuck up some YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
I
it
really
is-
love the extreme nature of it. Like the unicorn, as we just saw on screen, that you can seemingly play as, and all the cars seem to have like 5 rockets tagged on the side.
Yeah.
It's very,
Right.
very good.
You think
Cars
I'm gonna
gotta
be
go
able to put my
fast.
phone number in this one, so I can, if I go to a different someone else's house, I can type my phone number in and get my save state back.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean this game. Listen, it looks a little bit. It's got a little bit of burnout in it, and whenever a game looks a little bit like
It's
burnout,
generous.
I usually listen.
So
listen, I'm
generous.
saying they're
You're
trading
being
paint.
too nice,
Here's-
John. They don't
here's
like.
the
They're
reason-
not paying us.
I
Like,
know.
you
Here's the
just say it
reason-
looks bad, John.
It does look bad. Here's the reason why I think it's notable. Okay. Here's the reason why I think it's notable is that if they're going to start bringing back franchises that did okay on the Nintendo 64 that are racing related, why not
Okay.
bring back Rush and why
Yeah.
not bring back Beetle Racing? Like, you
Beetle
gotta
Racing.
figure out a
Racing?
way. Yeah.
What is Beetle Racing?
Rare made that.
Oh,
the people are
my
asking,
God,
what is Beetle
everyone-
Racing?
Listen, there is a official licensed Beetle Racing game on and I
Licensed
mean,
by
like,
who?
VW
Oh, Volkswagen.
Volkswagen. Beetle.
Oh, the
Now,
only.
you say to yourself,
I thought they were
licensed-
like bugs.
no, a licensed Volkswagen Beetle game for Nintendo
Yeah.
Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. It was
Yeah.
one of the best racing games that I had ever played in my first 15
Wow.
years of life. It is a great racing game.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so Beetle Adventure
We should
Racing
get that
is great.
going in Parsec.
We should.
They got multiplayer?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, probably could get that
we
going
should
in
get that
Parsec.
too. All right. So anyway, I'm just
Mhm.
hoping that the revitalization of the Cruisin' franchise might bring back some racing.
You
Oh,
know,
that's
there's
it.
like
This game
It
looks like
has
shit.
wheel support.
there's someone at Best Buy who's buying like a Switch or Switch Pro, and like they got this in one hand and Mario Kart
Uh-huh.
8 in the other. They're like,
Uh-huh.
which one should I buy?
Uh-huh. And they're gonna end up with this one
Yeah.
because
They're gonna take
this one's
the
gonna have
phones,
a
like-
dinosaur on the back.
It'd be like, oh,
They're gonna be
all
like,
video
oh, that's
kids gonna
great.
love this.
Yeah.
There's they should port, and we should absolutely move on because this game looks like
Yeah.
trash. They should port the Toyota Yaris game for the Xbox 360 to the Switch.
Oh god,
Okay.
that game that was free and I can't ever get rid of because I got one achievement on it for booting it up.
Yeah, baby, we need more games like that.
We do. All right. So they're bringing back it's Mario Party Superstars, y'all. We're getting
Mhm.
some old
Yay.
boards. We're getting some old mini games. We're getting some stuff that I guess people liked from the old games. I did like that Bowser face molding one that they showed.
That one-
I
this
thought
one's
that was
good.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
Listen, Super Mario Party is a thing, and it came out 18 months ago, and they put fucking online in it like a month and a half ago.
Yes.
Which I'm guessing
what
was
did
like
y'all-
because of this.
Probably.
Yes.
What did y'all think when y'all saw this reveal?
Good for Dan Reichert.
I think Super Mario Party sold 14 million copies, so I'm shocked,
Yeah.
not shocked that this game came out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like,
is
I
everyone
already have
is
WarioWare for this, so I'm good. I don't really
Yes.
need this
is
game
everyone
anymore.
Is everyone aware that this is a separate game and not an expansion of Super Mario Party? I do.
No
Not
way.
until literally just
You're
now when I saw
joking.
the title come across the screen.
Yeah, it is
Um,
a standalone.
So it's a
title.
greatest. It's a greatest hits then,
It's a greatest
It-
hits. Yeah.
Yeah,
which
the
they
first-
already
of the N64 games.
released, right? Because didn't
for the 3DS.
on the 3DS, but that one was just mini games, right? That one didn't have any board game in it.
No boards, as far as I know.
It was just the miniature games. And this
Yeah.
one, they said,
What?
well, what if we put the part that everybody likes, the board
Right.
game part, back in?
Yeah. I
This
did see
is
people on
far-
Twitter like losing their shit about like their favorite boards being in the game.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there were some boards I think people are nostalgic for from those early days.
Like the
But I
island
think-
one from 4 on the GameCube.
Yeah,
The
sure,
one with the trumpet.
sure.
You know which one I'm talking about.
I don't.
Yeah.
but it's fine.
Folks at home know.
Folks at home know. I guess I am confused about the existence of this instead of like a $30 DLC for.
I'm floored that
Because-
this
No,
is a
you're not.
DLC.
What
I
are you
mean,
talking
DLC people buy DLC like it's a quarter, or it's a fraction of the people who bought the main game, because
Right,
you have to make
yeah.
them aware of it. Some people are just like, I'm not going to go online and buy something. That's crazy. Like, see, if you put out a $60 retail game, one, you could charge $60 for it,
Yeah,
and two, more people are more likely to buy it.
Yeah.
They
It's a
cannot
$60
Also,
keep
they can
getting
say-
away with this. What?
Yeah, like it's so easy for the Best Buy guy to say it's the new Super Mario Party. It's the
It
new
is,
Mario
right.
Party.
Yeah.
But it's also there. The
Next-
other
next
new
to-
Mario
next
Party's
to-
right there.
And that was also $60 though, is the thing.
Yeah.
So are you gonna get the new one that's $60 or the old one that's $60?
Yeah. But listen,
I will
for
say,
the Mario Party, for the Mario
I think this
Party
game is very
tournaments, they got 'em.
graphically impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
No, it looks great. I
Does
mean,
look
like
good.
in some of those mini games that I saw in the trailer, I did recognize from my youth when I bored a hole into my wrist
Mhm.
and my hand to play against my friends. So it's like, yeah, I've got an element of that nostalgia, and I kind of miss that. But $60, I mean, it's up for pre-order
Yeah.
now.
You know what's
pretty wild.
fucked up
Yeah,
What?
what's up?
is that Nintendo knows how bad these are because they put you can save your progress in the middle of it. That's text on the screen they want you to know about. Like that's a brand new feature that they're eager to tell you about, that you can quit in the middle of it and come back.
There are plenty of
Um,
people, Nikki, that are like, let's do a 50-turn Mario Party. Like, that's just what we're doing. That's like the rest of our
Yeah.
lives now.
Yeah.
The save and leave feature, very good in that context.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a
I
few
mean,
friends who are super into Mario Party, and like they have a Switch and they just have like Kart and Mario Party. So I assume they're gonna get this game as well.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah,
I this doesn't really do anything for me at all.
right.
I'm just surprised that it's also not DLC, but to sell more units, I guess. But
Yeah, I
Feels
mean,
so
yeah,
recent.
I mean, Jordo in chat said, of course, it's a standalone game. $60 is more than $30, which
Yes,
he's
that,
right.
that is
Like,
true.
that's-
the crucial
math.
the crucial part of that.
yeah. So yeah, the new Mario Party, new-ish Mario Party, but yeah, $60 price tag. Let's talk about the 20th anniversary of Super Monkey Ball for a moment. We got the announcement that 3 Super Monkey Balls are getting a remaster in one collection.
It's
to announce this
Sphere
week.
Game V2 and Sphere Game Extreme.
Monkey
Is what the
Target,
games
yeah.
are called.
Monkey
All
Target or
by
Ghost.
yes,
It's
it's only $40.
Do y'all like the Super Monkey Ball games, Imran?
I did until like the remasters were they chose the best games to put in here. I'll probably
Yeah.
play this because everything after this was just garbage.
Okay,
Mm.
fair enough. Nikki, what about you?
I liked playing this when I was a child, and then they put the one out on the iPod, on the iPhone. Remember that one?
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, maybe this isn't good. And then I dropped off of the series, and then I got back into it whenever I watched people do it at GDQ. So I guess I'm not excited to play it. I'm excited to watch people play these at GDQ next year.
Funky, I'm maybe most interested in your thoughts on Super Monkey Ball.
Oh yes, this game feels like one of my nightmares a lot of the time. Just I don't know, juggling on there. I said this morning on the stream, but yeah, these games make me very sick. Like moving around on the stage, it just doesn't make sense. It like hurts my brain and then my stomach too. So yeah, I don't know. As Nikki said, like SGDQ, those guys, geniuses over there, will lab this game from day one in wherever they are, and just like get every like certain flip, like okay, go to the right a little bit, now flip the board over, and then aces, we got the ball there.
Yeah.
And that's always satisfying to see, so I'm down for that. So I don't know, like maybe if I watch a couple of those, I'll be down to get this game, but this isn't something that I'm like I want to spend money on.
Yeah, I
Nikki,
think
as like as a burgeoning like Sphere game streamer,
Sure,
you should be
absolutely.
very excited.
you should be super
I just
excited.
don't. Well, this isn't really the genre to me, right? Like, there's a lot you can. It seems like you can move the camera in this one.
Right,
It
yeah,
seems like
they
you
give
have
you
an
too
ability
much- they
to
give you too
jump.
much
There's kind of
help,
like,
right.
yeah, like I want a challenge, right? Like I don't
It's
play
too
games
easy.
to have
Yeah.
fun. I just I want to show off my skill and my prowess. And
Right.
Sphere Game really is a series that allows me to do that. I really do think that Super Monkey Ball is for fucking babies. So
Wow. Well, we see right now a reminder that this franchise is made by Sega. Imran, do you want to tell us the very funny detail about a maybe a spoiler of what's to come in an unlockable in this game?
So the PR for this game, which I read quite a bit because like we got this on pre-write, I straight up says maybe there will be secret characters as well. So people saw that every character file name on the website was like ii.jpg or .ping or whatever. MFers put sonic.ping and tails.ping just there. They're already uploaded.
Yeah,
so Sonic and Tails are coming to this, I guess.
Sonic and
Free
Tails are
him.
coming to this. Yeah,
What the hell?
that was
I hope they
maybe
just
the
make
funniest
them
news I saw all
the
day.
special stages,
Yeah,
like from Sonic.
maybe.
Oh yeah.
They
they should put those in there. I agree. That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
They should invite II to the Olympic Games. I think he deserves a chance.
Yo,
100%.
what if
They
II
just do a
was
lot
the
of
John
shooting.
Tut?
yeah,
He's the dude in an II costume, not II himself, just the
Yeah.
actual costume.
Yeah, you gotta throw that little ball around. All right, well, those are cool. I played a lot of those on GameCube, and I'm kind of like you, Funke. I got a little sick playing them, but I still played them anyway.
You're so
We
strong
also-
for that.
Thank you. We also got the reveal that Danganronpa Decadence is coming to Nintendo Switch. I wish I knew a single fucking thing about this franchise, but it's a collection of Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, and Danganronpa 3, Killing Harmony, and a brand new spin-off called Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp. Wowzers, Imran.
They're very
I
good
know
games.
nothing
Like,
about this. Okay.
If you like Phoenix Wright, you'd like probably this game or these games.
All right. Now
It's like a lot of it's a lot of detective mystery, like figuring stuff out. That's
Who's Two-Face
Monokuma,
here?
who is
Okay.
basically running the execution school stuff and like killing people
what?
off every trial.
You know, things
So-
bears
Huh?
do.
So it's like that Japanese genre of a bunch of people get stuck in a thing and now have to play a game to get out.
I love Saw.
Yeah,
love
it
Saw.
is basically Saw, but like they're high school students. That's the short.
And it's kind of
interesting.
Big Brother too, Big Brothery. Like there's a lot of drama that goes on. I don't know. It's
like a
crazy.
television program.
Keep
Yes.
selling me on it. Keep selling me on it. I
Keep
need to
selling you.
know
I-
more.
Steven
Yeah.
So-
says lots of kids die in this. Is that good?
Lots
Is that
of
anything?
kids
It's,
die. All right. Okay.
it's like Paul says
like-
it's like Love Island.
That's
What is
not
Danganronpa
untrue.
Wrong answers only. Wrong answers only.
Mm. Anime
4 games
Survivor.
for $60 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it for?
That's
It's
like-
four
I
games for
don't-
$60.
I don't know if
That's
those
not
are
bad.
all in one pack. I think those are just all going to be released.
Oh.
Mm,
The other
Oh,
ones.
I don't know.
Yeah.
they are available
I'm-
separately. I don't know if they're in one pack.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for that
Ren says one
clarification.
pack.
Oh,
That's
one
fine.
Okay.
Okay.
One pack
That's
and
pretty
separate.
good then.
So, like the
Okay.
Devil May Cry. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Anyway, I
Yeah.
don't know. This look interesting.
Reality
Excited.
slips far away.
For them.
Fiction comes alive. We start to play. Hope is no more behind a closed door as we drift away from where we were before.
What?
Period.
Yeah.
That's that was the anime intro. There,
I love
There-
it.
Oh, the anime's bad.
Yeah.
Don't watch the anime.
it is.
For the record.
It is not good. I watched it. I watched it week to week when it came out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! I wonder what's
Wait.
gonna happen."
But you didn't play the first game? Because the anime is
No.
like a direct sequel to the first. Oh, that's the strangest like path through this.
I didn't know there was a game until like a few years after. My friend in high school was just like,
It's
"Yo, you should
literally a
watch
direct
this show.
sequel.
It's crazy."
It's also
Pokemon
Western.
has video games?
Pokemon has video games.
It's also
wow.
bizarre. I did this too with Tak and the Power of Juju. I watched the show first, and then I played the
Oh,
game.
Classic. Classic.
The game everyone knows. Attack and the Power of
No, yeah, I know Attack of the Power of GG.
I know it.
Yeah.
I've never. I can
tier-
picture what that game is, but I don't think I've ever seen that game running in my life.
We need more Attack of the
think it's
Power
a-
of GG.
I think it's a racing game. I think you go around a track.
yeah.
Okay.
No,
I
it's
think
a
it was made by
platform.
the same people. It's a platformer. No, it's made by the same people. I
No.
think who made Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I
They
might
got a
be making
real
that
like
up.
wheelhouse going there.
I was like, that's the longest silence.
Hmm.
Before we move
I know
away from
there's
Nintendo, go
there's
ahead.
like I forgot to put this on the notes, but Fatal Frame Made in the Blackwater is the thing I'm interested in.
I was gonna say, is there anything else we're looking forward to? Fatal Frame, that was a Wii U game, right?
It was a Wii U game. It sold terribly. It was a eShop only release on the Wii U, which meant it was like a fraction of an audience. But like, so what's most interesting to me about this game is coming to like Switch, PS5, or PS4, all other systems basically. And there was a time not too long ago that Nintendo partially owned that series. So
Right.
I'm guessing what happened is much like with Wonderful 101, they've apparently divested. And now Koei Tecmo can just do whatever they want with it, which maybe hopefully that means there's going to be more Fatal Frame games in the future.
Now, Funky, you told a story about how you were designated the photo taker in Phasmophobia.
A lot of the time. The
Hate-
worst
hate
job, the
that role.
scariest job. It is.
What if
It
I-
is the
what if
one
I
where
told
like
you, what if I told you they
Yeah.
made a whole video game out of that?
I would scream and run away. So don't tell me that.
Okay.
No, that it seems terrifying from what I saw of that game. I was like, this is creepy as hell, and like you can't even fight back. Like there were at some moments it looked like 7 ghosts on the screen at once, like just
Yep.
doing weird ghost shit, moving up at you. That is not fun to me. That is again
So,
another
Funke,
nightmare.
I will tell you the most anxiety-inducing parts of those games is there's a mechanic where as you go to reach for things, and they're usually like under beds or inside drawers or whatever, like it
Mhm.
slows down and you like slowly move your hand forward and the music tenses up while you're doing it. And 99% of the time, it is nothing. Like once or twice
Right.
per game, it is something, but you're always on edge every single time.
Oh my gosh.
Nikki, what's a dollar amount that would get you to play through this game? Through the
Let me see how much.
through Fatal Frame.
Can I log into Nelnet real fast?
That's,
What is
yeah.
that?
The student loan
It's
payment.
my student loan holder. It's a really good joke. Not enough money, John.
I got it.
Not enough. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Imran.
Steven Strom,
no,
Steven
you
Strom in
couldn't.
chat is absolutely right. The PS2 Fatal Frame games are some of the scariest games ever. They are
Yeah.
very scary.
They remade
Mm.
the second one for Wii, but never released it in America, which is a big shame because it's actually a pretty good remake.
My favorite note from the like the information about this game was the note that there's a photo mode, which is
That's
very
huge.
funny to me because the entire game is taking photos.
Yeah. Hashtag Fatal Frame. Hashtag Nintendo Switch. Hashtag Spooky on every fucking picture.
Yeah. Is there anything else from today's Nintendo Direct that y'all wanted to touch on, or should we move on to some week wrap stuff?
Nothing I can remember.
Yeah, but just in general, like that was a very fun reveal. I think
Yeah.
there wasn't too much in all of E3 that like made me feel shocked and feel like, whoa, this is actually happening right now. And that happened multiple times during this Nintendo one. So yeah, I think E3 ranking, I think we might get that to the end at the end, but like I think Nintendo's
Sure.
probably my favorite one, and Xbox close second. But yeah, pretty chill year. TBH, yeah,
Pretty
like
chill year. I would agree with that. But I did think Nintendo Direct was good. Did y'all, Nikki and Imran, y'all agree?
Yeah, it was a
I
good
think it
one.
was probably best game, our best
This-
show for me of E3.
Oh wow. Okay.
This one.
I mean, that's
was,
not a high bar. That is a very low bar.
Right. Not the highest
This,
bar.
this one was one of the ones where I was like, almost none of this was for me, but many people that I care about got hype, and I was like, you know what? Good for them. Good for y'all.
Good for y'all.
Aw.
Yeah. That was a good one. I thought listen, we could get into the speculation and the news and whatever. That's not really that important to me in this conversation. Do you think they needed to announce new hardware this week?
No, I think what they did this week was show, hey, we're still like, you can't find the PS5, so
Right.
we have a bunch of games for filling out the remainder of the year. Many of them are extremely close. Metroid is like October, which is 4 months from now. Like
Right.
that combined with what we've already seen in 2022, which is Splatoon, Pokemon, Breath of the Wild, they could launch that Pro in 2022, no problem. Or they could
Right.
they could just choose not to and still keep selling Switches.
Do you
Nintendo-
Think, do you? Oh, I was gonna ask Imran if you think that they're going to push Pokemon, because I feel like I wouldn't, if I was Nintendo, I wouldn't put Pokemon Legends out before the Switch Pro, because that game looked like trash.
Okay, so the key part of that is if you were Nintendo, and Nintendo doesn't make that decision, which is the problem.
That's true.
That game, there's so many moving pieces around Pokemon in terms of the anime, the merchandise, events, theme parks, all that jazz, that like those games don't get delayed, because if they got delayed, Sword and Shield would have gotten delayed, because that game ran like ass a lot of time.
Yeah.
So that thing is coming out hell or high water in January.
Woof. Yikes.
For the Switch, new Switch release date, I think Nintendo spent so long carving out their own schedule for releasing games and hardware specifically that there's no rush for them to do this. And I think, they can just kind of play around their own schedule, which I think is a great place to be as a company. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too excited about the new Switch. I have a Switch and it works fine. Like, I think I'll need that for when the newer games, like maybe the 2022 games, come out and my Switch starts chugging. But from what I've been using it for, it's been perfectly fine.
I will say, if you go look at the YouTube footage of the sequel to Breath of the Wild 2, that thing runs at 60 FPS. That the Switch does not seem like it should be able to run that thing at 60 FPS.
You're right.
Make you think.
No, it doesn't. Make you think. I think a lot of the really major stuff that we saw, like Breath of the Wild 2, I think that's running on beefier hardware, but we'll see. I thought Nintendo's presser was great. Exactly right. They only had one game, I think, that was explicitly not this year, which is absolutely a shot across the bow in a way to just say, hey, we have a lot of games that are out this year. And you should be excited about them. And I genuinely was, and I was surprised by several things. I am being told that we should take a 5-minute break before we get into some week wrap-up stuff. So we're going to do that, and we will be right back. Stay right there. Don't move. Don't move.
Don't touch that dial.
My weird witch finger. Don't move.
Oh, God. Oreo milkshake.
Hi.
Hello, welcome to day -1 of E3 2021.
I have to leave.
We're getting geared up for Jeff's big show. What do you think? You think we're gonna see Elden Ring?
I don't think we're gonna.
Guardians
I
of the
don't think we're gonna
Galaxy.
see it.
Listen, we've been actually pretty positive this one around. I mean, I think Nintendo did well. We're going to kind of wrap up the week with a big bow, and I want to start with stuff that we hated this week. How about that?
Oh boy.
Let's talk about I don't know. Let's talk about the worst conference we saw.
Sure.
Okay, what's the worst one that you saw?
Also, can we kill the music?
I mean, it is
Gracias.
chill, but yeah.
The worst one I saw?
Yeah.
I turned them off.
Funke is so nice.
Okay. I
cop to it.
No, because I know it's been a shit year for everyone. Like, first off
Sure.
the bat, like the pandemic hit, like we can't not say that. Like
Listen,
I didn't expect too much out of all of these. Let's preface it with that. But yeah, I was watching the Square Enix one, and that one was like, wow. But I think the what was it, the Gearbox one with Randy?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
fine.
watch that one, luckily live, but I watched it after, like the VOD, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this whole thing? And he fully, like, the worst part about it is he said at the start, he was like, I'm just gonna go talk to everyone on set. And like I've worked on set before, and that is the most annoying thing possible.
Yep.
Like the whole segment seems like the worst thing in the world for anyone on that set, and nobody seemed like they knew he was there. And he was just like, "Hey, check it out! Hey, can we talk about this video game? We all like that, right?" And it was just awkward, man. Like they didn't
It's a
edit that
very
shit. It was
accurate,
just
like-
so. Yeah.
It's a very accurate encapsulation of the Randy Pitchford experience. Like that is what meeting Randy Pitchford is like.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, yeah, Kevin Hart, I don't like him or his comedy, but
Same.
I think that like I felt so much sympathy for him in that moment where
Yeah.
he banged on his trailer door with a camera crew outside. Like, what? Who would ever want that?
Yeah.
He's so lucky
I
he
mean-
owns everything there or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
good for him.
No, yeah.
I-
Pitchford
I
is old
watched-
money. He is like old oil money.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of that Gearbox one live, and he seems like a real kind of odious man to me.
Mhm.
Anyway, Nikki, what did you think?
It was also the Gearbox one for me.
It was
Like
also
the Square Enix one was like a bad E3 conference.
It's
The
a
Gearbox
misread.
one, yes,
To
yes.
me, it's a misread. The Square one's
They-
a misread.
The Gearbox one was like they made me watch the worst episode of The Office. They like made me watch Scott's Tots for an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's
Like
what
if-
that felt like.
If Michael Scarn was a real production and like he walked around talking to everyone.
Yeah. Like that's
Yeah.
what that felt like. And like it wasn't it was just that's why. Like it just didn't it wasn't even about the video games at that point. It was like
No.
I'm just watching a guy for whom no one has told no
Right.
just kind of like bother people.
That energy
Like, I-
oozes off
I-
of him.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want that. Like I see enough of that in the real world. Like I don't need to see that on television about
It's weird,
Borderlands,
'cause,
the
like,
movie.
They literally just announced a game like the day before. Why was that
Yes.
thing
Right.
not about that game?
How do you not make that presentation 15, 20 minutes of gameplay or something for Tiny Tina's Wonderland? I mean, I guess the obvious answer is it's not ready, but
Yeah.
I bet it is
It comes
ready.
out this
and it's
financial
just
year.
Randy
It comes
Pitchford,
out, yeah,
right.
but
It's
like
Randy's just like, nope, everyone wants to see me yucking it up with like
The
Eli
other-
fucking Roth. Like, holy shit. What a
It's like-
fucking frame that was. Looking at Eli Roth and Randy Pitchford in the fucking flesh next to each other. I was just like, oh, no.
The thing is, it's like even if you think about this in the perspective of I'm running promo for a major motion
Right.
picture that's going to come
Mhm.
out.
Sure.
They didn't even show me anything new. Like
Right.
the thing that they could have shown, they on purpose blurred out. Like there was
That
someone
part
in
was so
character
annoying,
in the
too.
background, and they were blurred, like in costume. I mean, and they blurred them out. That was like a perfect opportunity to be like, oh, if you were fucking paying attention, you could see
Yeah.
Greg James, my favorite actor, is dressed up like Kyle Borderlands.
From Borderlands.
From
Yeah.
Borderlands.
Yeah, Greg James
that-
from Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
That presentation that presentation would have been like a cool reward for like the 5% of Gearbox like mega fans, the ones that are just like, I will buy anything y'all make, I will watch anything you make, I will do anything for this company and this vibe. And for no one else, for that to take up
Mhm.
like E3 airspace was just like brutal for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That was, to me, that was the worst one. I think Square and Capcom had like uneventful shows, but they
Yeah.
were more of, to me, they were more the result of, like Funke was saying, the result of like a COVID year, a lost year of development. There's like a lot of stuff that got delayed, but I do feel like there were some misreads too of what their fans actually want, especially in the case of Square Enix. So it was just an interesting E3 for those kind of off the beaten path conferences that we saw.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't begrudge anyone that like told us what they were going to show, which Capcom and Bandai Namco
Right.
did, as long as
Yes.
the games themselves look fine. And
Yeah.
for the most part, they did look fine. Square Enix's, I think, is still like real bad
weird.
because those games did not look good. But for the rest of the
Do
like,
you?
go ahead.
I was gonna say. Do you think that the perception around Square would have been different if they cut out every bit of gameplay that we saw, and it was just the trailers, and then they kicked the gameplay bits to YouTube videos after the presents?
Maybe.
I think
thing.
people would have still complained, but I think what would have helped Square most is they shouldn't have done that. If the goal was to make a good E3 show and that's the
Mhm.
only goal, they shouldn't have done that presentation 2 months ago that had Forspoken and all that stuff.
Right.
And they should have probably like, we know there's a bunch of other Square games that they're currently developing that they're just not showing yet. So like,
Right.
if they had Final Fantasy 16, that might have changed things. If they had Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2, that would have changed things.
Right.
But it felt
Mhm.
like, it honestly felt like a weird turf war between Square Japan and Square Western branches.
Right.
Also, Guardians of the Galaxy killed the vibe at the start. Like, it was very long. I really didn't
it
like
was
that.
so long.
I think that game looks good, but
Mhm.
I didn't want to see that much of it. And they showed like
Yeah.
No.
a weirdly boring section of it of like, okay, well, let's just talk about this it's like if all of Ocean's 11 was talking about the heist that they were going to do and then it
Right.
ends.
Nintendo is smart. Nintendo is smart. They do a brisk 40-minute presentation that just tells you everything they're doing. And then they take 3 fucking hours after the presentation to show
Yeah.
you all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's
They're
very
really-
good. And walk you through
It's
it.
really smart. So walk me through it. So like, if they had shown me the trailer of Guardians of the Galaxy, I still would have rolled my eyes and been like, okay, who are these fucking Kmart Guardians of the Galaxy you've brought me? But at the same time, I would have been like, okay. And then I would have seen that 25 minutes of gameplay in a later thing and thought, okay, well, this looks okay. It's weird to me that they chose to basically start the thing with 25 minutes
Yeah.
of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I also think the thing that made, and we should move on, but I think the thing that like made this tough was like so much of the Guardians of the Galaxy presentation was the same clips that they had shown a couple of minutes prior.
Right.
Like I saw the part where that tentacle, like it's implied that Star-Lord has had sex with an octopus or whatever behind a wall. I saw that 3 times this weekend. And it felt like all 3 of them were in the same span of 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They were weirdly proud of like the Telltale style. This character will remember that. It's like, no, every game for like a decade, Deus Ex games, which you've made, did that. You don't. You can show us like, it's cool that like there's I didn't know there were decisions in this game. Like that's a cool thing to show once.
Right.
They showed it like 3 to 4 times.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Sell Rocket Raccoon.
Sell Groot. Sell Rocket.
What if we just didn't? What if none of that mattered and we just changed our mind at the end?
Yeah.
Like, that's a possibility too.
Imagine.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, this was a bizarre one. Also a weird week for just games, and we were talking about this earlier. Games that we saw 5 or 6 times on different on different conferences. Like Far Cry 6 showed up on I think 3, and we saw mostly the same shit again and again and again. It was just kind of it was a lot. It was just a lot.
It will never be worse than that year they showed Kingdom Hearts at every single conference.
Yeah.
And like a weirdly badly mixed Kingdom Hearts trailer.
Yeah. I want to talk about us really briefly. I want to talk about a studio that was not present at all this week, and that was Sony. Not a studio, but a big publisher. Sony specifically did not really do much at this show. Obviously, they're bowed out of E3 officially. Do you think they kind of missed out on anything by not being part of this conversation, or do you think they're chill?
I think they're better off for it.
Yeah, I think they're better off for it. Because like if they did something, then it would have been like, why are you showing us this? I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would be like, why are you showing me basically nothing?
It seems like they sensed what E3 was going to be like this year, and we're like, I don't really want to do that, and I respect that. Like, it wasn't that eventful, and I would have been probably not as excited at their conference this year.
Sure.
I think there's like 2 things that like Sony probably kept in mind is that it was obvious from the get-go that every single thing in Microsoft announcement would be, or their conference would be, this is on Game Pass. Everything here is going to be like the same $1 a month that you will buy this entire conference for. And like, I'm sure Sony believes in their heart of hearts that their HBO programming prestige television gaming software lineup is better than that. But also, why invite the comparison if you don't need to?
Yeah, right. Fair enough. A lot of people in the chat are saying you can't even buy their box. Why are you showing us anything? Hey, folks, I'm not sure in 6 months I'm going to be able to buy their box, and shit's coming out for that stuff. So like, they got to figure something out. And I don't know. I think you're right that they were probably better off sitting it out, but they were conspicuous by their absence. Although I think they probably made the right call. I agree.
Yeah, it makes me think about how how this space should change, because E3 this year felt like it didn't really adapt to the times. It felt kind of messy. It felt like from the online like login system with avatars that none of us used after making an avatar.
None of us
it
used it.
it feels pretty archaic. So I do like the kind of spectacle of E3, everything happening in 1 week. As busy as it is, like it's one of the most exciting times of the year. But it does make me think of like, what does a world look like without E3, where like companies are doing their own conferences around the year, or maybe they get together to form something else. I don't know, but it gets me thinking and kind of excited about that, because E3 kind of fizzling down, at least for this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I heard an advertisement on the radio for E3 yesterday.
What do you mean? What did they say?
They were like, have you heard the gaming's largest and most popular convention is online this year? Go to e3expo.com or whatever to catch up on the latest news from Microsoft, Square Enix, Nintendo, and all that. And I was like, okay.
The radio is like a good analogy for E3, because it's like vastly being outpaced, and like there's some use for it, but it's not where you spend most of your time, and most of the time for like game reveals and game news is going to be like every other time of the year. I was saying this the other day, but like people were very mad like Capcom did not reveal anything this year. And it's like, well, they just released 2 AAA games in the last 4 months.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
Monster Hunter Rise was shown at a Nintendo Direct Mini in September, and it sold 7 million copies. Does the consumers I know love E3, and like journalists like E3 because it's 1 week of news, but it's not really gaming Christmas anymore, because they're gonna do what the bottom line says, and the bottom line doesn't say hold all your cards for 1 week in the summer.
Right. Sure. For sure. Really super briefly, we're getting some questions about the avatar system and like the back end for E3. None of us used it, right? Really?
Yeah.
We
It didn't even work.
Did any of us actually confirm that you had to buy your way into the exhibition in the back end?
You do not. I think it said it was free this year, but like
free,
I don't know what that meant. Like honestly,
that would be a very big story if you had to pay to get into that. I will just say that.
I've always said like E3 for the public is garbage. Like I remember one year I was there, and I was like I was interviewing a developer, and like in a room with a lot of demo units, and a guy comes in, it's like, can I play one of these? You're like, sorry, this is only for press. I'm like, if you paid to get into E3 and you walked into a room with empty demo units everywhere, and someone told you, no, sorry, you can't do that, that would suck so much. And like, I feel like that's what E3 is right now. And the best it can ever be is just a worse PAX.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. Okay, let's talk about some of the games that really stood out for the rest of the staff. We talked about a bunch of Nintendo stuff that stood out. One of the games that when I asked everyone, I think almost everyone on staff said they were super excited about Elden Ring. We saw that at Jeff's showcase before E3. Technically, this game looks amazing. We talked about it night 1. If you want to go back for that in-depth conversation, quickly, Imran, I'll just ask you: are you still as excited about Elden Ring today as you were on Thursday?
I get those like Dark Souls jonesing like once a year probably. So I've probably become more excited as I've watched that trailer and like analyzed and stuff. I don't care what's different about this game so much as I'm like, I know From Software makes good games. I know they make exactly the kind of games that hit my lizard brain. So I am just as, if not a little bit more excited since seeing it the first time.
Yeah. We have gotten some more details a little bit since that presentation on Thursday. Things about how it's like 6 hub worlds with these demigods that are ruling each one, and you can do them in any order. It's a lot of Dark Souls stuff, to be totally frank, but it looks a little more open. Niki, Funke, are y'all both excited about? I know, Niki, I know you're not going to play this. You're going to watch someone play it. You're going to watch someone play it.
I'm dummy hyped for this. No, I'm so happy. Like when I got my PS5, somehow I downloaded Demon Souls because it was recommended to me. I was like, these games seem like hell. But I spent like 3 weeks and I played through Dark Souls 1, I played through Demon Souls, and I played through Bloodborne. Pretty much back to
really got into it super fast.
I did. Yeah. I got soul pilled, and I was like, oh, this is how how they build off of each other. This is like, oh, I get like how this is kind of like I guess a reflection of the other ones. It's very cool to see those games, and once you kind of like get it, which I feel like it's kind of gatekeepy, but it shouldn't be. Once you get like what the formula is, it feels so cool to see it in other environments. So I'm very excited to see what it looks like on a flipping horse, dude. Jumping up, like straight up, vertically jumping on a horse. That seems ridiculous. And I'm so excited to see how it flows because I know their track record has been amazing. And yeah, as Imran said, these games just work. So hopefully this one does as well.
Hey, Niki.
Yeah.
Finally,
a good video game. No, I'm excited for Halo.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on staff are excited about Halo. We saw.
Y'all heard of this one?
We've heard of this one. Yeah. What about the more details we got from that multiplayer rundown we got a couple days ago? What about that are you especially excited about, Niki?
It feels like 343 took the criticism from the majority of the Halo community who said, "Are you sure you know how to make a Halo?" And they were like, "Do we?" And it legitimately seems like they asked themselves if they did. And then I watched that or it was not even 15 minutes. It was like a 5-minute long multiplayer trailer thing. And like, these are always like, it's like the Bungie Vidocs, right? Like you always watch them and you're like, wow, yeah, they really do care.
So good.
But there was, I don't know, watching that game move and watching and listening to them say, we thought about the ways that Halo 3 felt and the way that like equipment in Halo 3, and then the way that there's like some locomotion stuff that is present in Halo 5, which I actually think is the best feeling one out of the 5 of them. And then paired with I think a legitimately interesting focus on customization and unlockables. Like that battle pass thing is like wild.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I know they did it for Master Chief Collection as well. It's like not a new concept for this, but it's really good, and I want everyone to copy it.
Yeah, and that system is basically deciding whether or not you're going to jump to the new battle pass or to basically complete the one that you've already started, which I think is a great idea because, battle pass games for me, if I drop off of that for a couple days, I go, I'm never going to fucking complete it, so I'm not going to play the game anymore. Which is dumb lizard brain stuff, but it really does work like that sometimes. So them basically telling us that we're going to take that part of it out of the equation, I'll still get the feeling of unlocking that stuff. But with a little bit more freedom and an incentive to keep playing.
Absolutely.
I'm super excited. I mean, like, I'm not a super big Halo person, but like I got real vibes of like dorm room 2004 playing Halo games with like my idiot friends. With crucially 10% more like physics objects.
There's so much silly shit in that I saw. Like for the same reason, I was excited. For the same reason I was excited about the Battlefield trailer. Is like that same part of my brain. I lost my mind when I saw some of the stuff that was in that Halo trailer. Like the use of the grappling hook to basically like grab onto a wasp and kick the guy out, and then like you're strafing and you're jumping and like you're grappling weapons to you're throwing grenades at weapons to bounce them to you, and you're grabbing the energy sword, and then you're like, I want to like in shooters like this, like Halo, like Halo specifically, and also like Battlefield, I want to die in ways that make me laugh. And I don't think that there's a first person shooter that was tonally similar to Halo. And I think like the thing that Halo 4 and 5 completely lost is that like when you died, it was because you got shot. If that made sense. And it was like, that's fine. But like, I want to like have a box fall on my head and kill me because someone threw a grenade at the box.
Right.
Like that's the kind of stuff that I want. So like if they're tightening up the way that the game feels and then also playing with physics and like altering the way that these systems work, like that is really exciting to me.
Right. Sure.
That's also why I'm excited for the single player, because like if the single player is we've created this large open-ish world where you have a bunch of tools and we're like, all right, well, be Master Chief. Like that's really interesting to me. So I don't know. That's why Halo got me going.
You gonna jump into this with us?
Absolutely. I think I need to do a playthrough of the whole series because I started with.
We should do that.
Well, we should play it together, folks. I started with Halo 3. That was like the first game I got when I got my 360. And I played like ODST and Reach and stuff. But yeah, I didn't play the originals, and I feel like I should just to like see what they felt like. But yeah, this game, I fell off of Xbox. I got PS4, so I didn't play 5. And I kind of want to now to see like how it's adapted over the years, because this looks incredible. The multiplayer stuff really did remind me of like playing Halo 3 custom games with my friends and just like all of that chaos in one lobby. That shit is so fun. Steven says Funke play Halo Wars. It's tactical.
Okay. If you have a personal computer, you have access to all of the Halo games.
Yeah,
so you should.
Yeah.
Well, and
I got
Game
the
Pass,
collection.
But like you should play them. Paul, you should
collection.
Absolutely play Halo 5. It's the best feeling one out of all of them.
It's
really
it's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on for a second. From a shooter that plays with comedy a lot to a shooter that I don't know, I won't say is devoid of comedy because that's not really true, but Stalker 2, the brand
This
new
game's fucking
game
hilarious.
I don't know about that.
The Russian post-apocalypse dude simulator is back after years of kind of darkness from that team. They've all splintered and done some other stuff, but that core team is back with Stalker 2. A lot of folks on staff are super excited about that. I'm not sure if any of us are as psyched or any of us psyched about Stalker 2 as much.
I'm actually excited to get into this one, or like at least make an attempt to play it, because I have not played one of these before, and everyone always talks about Far Cry 2, and like I'm not about to go back and play that one, and like what if this is the Far Cry 2 of the modern era, you know?
Yeah
Like I want to be on that train before it leaves the station, you know?
For sure.
So the first and only time I played Stalker, I was supposed to go and talk to a guy behind the door, and I was trying to like press keys to figure out what the actual key bindings were. One of them buttons was drop your gun. So I dropped the AK I was holding, and then like some other guy just kind of like walked over and picked it up, and I was like, "Hey, give that back," and he shot me. So like that is the kind of thing I expect from Stalker.
That's comedy. That's funny.
Comedy.
It's just different. Yeah, it's just different. But yeah, I mean the original Stalker is really interesting, and I think it's really fascinating to see a brand new, more mainstream audience maybe hear about the original Stalker and the expansions and things like that, and then to see what kind of audience comes into this will be really interesting.
I have been hovering over Stalker on my wish list on Steam for a while, but I've heard that it's just so hard to play. Like you need to like download a couple of mods to make it playable currently, like on this PC. And when that barrier is when that barrier is in front of me, it kind of makes me bounce off of a game fairly easily. If I'm not easily, Ren is saying you don't, but I've had 2 to 3 people say that I do. So conflicting reports here. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that this one is good at introducing me, as I hope every sequel is. But yeah, this looks depressing and interesting as a story. So I'm interested in checking it out.
They've got a really interesting command of that gameplay and a lot of systems, and it was before Far Cry 2 even. So it's like it is so interesting that this existed before. I think we kind of got a vocabulary for what this kind of genre is, and it's so atmospheric and interesting and super scary. Nikki, I don't know if you're going to be into this one.
I liked Fear.
Okay.
Is that like?
It's also nice to. It's
What?
like, so I was just gonna say it's nice to see what Series X games look like right now,
Right.
because like
Yeah.
we haven't really gotten a good idea of what a Series X only game, and I say
sure.
only, it's gonna be on S and X, but like what a game not held back by technology of 2012 looks like
Yep.
now.
Yeah, 100%. From this fairly bleak, dark game to a really colorful indie, Sable is a game that we saw a lot of
Yeah.
this week. We also got a demo for it. I know, Nikki, you played
Finished
the
that demo today. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Awesome. What
fucked
did you
up.
think of the game?
It stops.
The
I
demo's
thought
so
it was terrible
good.
because it stops. Like right when they're like, "Oh, you want to go?" They're like, sorry.
Is it really
Doesn't
just
come
Breath of the
out.
Wild with no combat? Is that really basically
I mean,
what we're looking
so that is the vibe that I got, but it
Okay.
didn't. The thing. Breath of the Wild with no combat implies that like the combat has been removed. This does not seem like combat was ever
Correct.
an idea.
Sure, right.
So like it never was. It doesn't feel like it was ever designed to have like combat in it. And I don't know. Steven mentioned this the other day. I think that might have been last night, or no one's quite sure. The days don't mean anything. But
They're all the same day.
I knew nothing about this game coming in before I saw it at this press conference, and I was like, great, I'm not going to watch Steven play it. I'm going to like get the demo myself. That game it's good. The writing is entertaining. It looks incredible. I think this is like one of my favorite looking video games that I've ever seen in my entire life. I took so many screenshots in the
Yes.
the demos in
Yeah,
like
same.
an hour long. I took so many screenshots. It's just so pretty. The music is really good. If you can believe it, Japanese Breakfast, she's talented, good at writing and making music, if you can believe. The music is really good. Like I'm really, really excited about this. I knew I was hooked because as soon as I talked to the person and I was like, all right, let's fucking go. And then it faded to black. I was like, oh, you can't do that to me.
Yeah.
But it's coming out this year, September, October, I think. So
September, I think,
it's not too far away, but I'm legitimately excited about Sable.
Yeah.
This
It does feel like a smaller scale Breath of the Wild in terms of like exploration, the gliding, the climbing, all of that stuff. But it feels so much more intimate, and like the dialogue between characters is so warm and sincere. Like from the first lines, I was just like, whoa, like these people really care about each other. And there's there's lore entries for like all the clothing and different items that, I don't know, they seem to have really crafted a world just from this demo, which is fantastic. And I really like to see that. Yeah, I want to play more of it already. Such a distinct style.
Yeah, there's the incredible thing I think about this is that like and again, I don't want to talk about this game like I've played the whole fucking thing, but like there was usually when you start games like this, there's a lot of like, this is the big rock off of which we have all of our fuel and it powers the whole globe, and the rock is dying. And then like everybody you talk to is like, have you heard of the rock?
Have you heard of
and
the
it's
rock?
like, yeah, dog. Like,
great.
I know about the rock. You just told me. But like everybody here is like, you're talking to them and it's never framed like it's the first time you've ever spoken to these people. Like it's implied that the rock is dying, Cloud. it's like it is all really familiar.
It's a mature sense of world building.
I wasn't expecting.
It's lived in, which is really like a thing a lot of games don't get right.
Absolutely.
Lived in is a great descriptor. I'm super excited about this. Yeah, when I watched folks play the demo, I got super jazzed about it. So yeah, I probably won't play the demo. I'm weird like that. I just want to play the game when it comes out. But I
would absolutely recommend that because I'm pissed now.
Yeah,
I am of the belief that like
I believe y'all. You know.
Yeah, if you've decided you want a game, like ideally, if I weren't doing this job, I would just stop paying any attention to any media that comes out about it.
Sure. For sure. So
that's true.
Great.
Also, stay tuned to our site and YouTube for some video stuff on it next week.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
Steven's already got a piece on it up on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their piece echoes my thoughts of like, I thought this was a Journey, but it's actually a Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
Speaking of
looks
a game
so good.
speaking of a game whose genre we were a little bit confused
Let's
about,
go.
but a game
baby.
that I think almost everyone on staff put as one of their best of show was Arcane Austin's Redfall. This game
They literally could have stopped the trailer once the camera got to the end of the aisle, and I would have been like, all right, yeah.
All right, let's go. Right.
Like
yeah,
all I
yeah,
saw was
100%.
a hot black lady with really good looking hair, and
Great
then
looking hair.
the words Arcane Austin and Bethesda Softworks, and I'd been like, all
And
right,
she can do
sure.
magic.
She can do magic. She can conjure elevators. I'm telling you, she's my soulmate. It's amazing. The trailer we saw no gameplay. Really interesting vampire designs with their long, weird Popeye arms. And like interesting mechanics of how vampires work in this world. Magic, gun crafting, a lot of stuff. A lot of folks were confused if this was a Left 4 Dead. I speculated it was much more like probably a Borderlands open worldy thing. We did get some confirmation that it is more like that and not a Left 4 Dead, I believe. And it's Harvey Smith and it's Evan Narcisse and it's like a really cool team of folks making this video game. I'm super excited.
I did not realize Evan Narcisse was working on this. That is a good that's a good call.
That's a good sign.
Good call, huh? Yeah. So this is a really fucking cool looking game. Only criticism, they use the Stranger Things font in this trailer. I think it's weird, but it's fine. Everything else I fucking love about it.
They can change that.
They can change that.
Yeah.
What do
You
y'all
think the
about
black
it?
lady's a vampire?
No.
No.
Her art, go look at her key art on the website.
He doesn't have the fucked up arms.
Nah. But look at the key art on the website.
Okay,
Because
right,
her
right,
nails are really pointy, and she's going like this. And you know what it looks like? Vampire teeth.
Fang.
Make you
Are
think.
you thinking it's like an a la carte situation where like she hunts vampires?
Yeah. Make you think.
Oh, that could be sick. Yeah, I'm very excited for this, but it is also just a trailer, and
CG trailer.
I hope a CG trailer of no gameplay at all. So like the world looks very, very cool, and they're obviously still building this game, but yeah, I just don't want to get too excited, but they've already got me. That's the worst part. They've already got me.
Yeah.
This
I
is
think
how
that guy is
Overwatch
based on I think that one guy is based on Rahul Cooley no matter what they say.
Yeah. The one question I might have, because I'm gonna speculate, I think this is an educated guess. This game is gonna be basically an open world, Dishonored-y, kind of crafty, like there's some class-based stuff, but like if you kind of get the vibe of like Prey and Dishonored and improvised combat, I'm gonna assume that's what we're looking at here because it's Arcane. With not Time Loop, Death Loop coming out, is Arcane's thing getting old for anyone here, or
no? Because I haven't played any of them.
Okay,
you should play Dishonored too. I think you would like it, Niki.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, it's on my list of things to get to this year.
Okay.
But yeah,
it's actually a trick question. The answer is no, because the way they do stuff is great.
There's a
I
risk
literally
of that in the
downloaded-
future, but I think
There's
it's
a risk of
fine
that in the
right
future.
now.
Yeah.
I downloaded Death of the Outsider, and I've been playing that this morning, like on break, and that one's very fun. But it makes me so anxious to not know, like, what if I'm not supposed to be in an area, and I like open a door, and everyone's like, "Kill him, rip him guts out, get him out of here."
So
I'm like, "Whoa, chill."
Not a stealth game veteran, then, are
So
you?
you like sitcom open the door, everyone's like, "Get him," and you like just slowly close it back.
Yeah, I reload the save because, well,
Sorry,
specifically in Death of the Outsider, like the first stage is like a room of like full of enemies, but they're not like, it's neutral territory or whatever. They're not like attacking you, and I'm like, what? So I stood in a room, and then they were all mad at me. So I don't like that. They should have a
That's
mode
amazing.
where you can turn that off.
Friends
yeah.
mode.
interesting.
Friends
Friends
mode.
mode.
Interesting.
They open the door for you instead of blocking it.
Wow.
Interesting. And they just let you put the sleeper hold on them, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they could call it. They
Do
could
you
call
want
it.
me to move? Do you want me to move back? Are you good?
Oh yeah.
They could
No,
call
that's
it
it. That's the artery. That's it. That's
right here. Okay.
Honored. They should call it Honored, I
You should
think.
call it Honored.
Yeah. Could be a very good game.
That's incredible. This game looks great. Comes out next summer, they say. We'll see about that. I'm dubious about that date.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit skeptical of that one. Okay, we're in the home stretch. Here's the other thing. I think of the beginning of last week as also the start of E3. I think the play date was probably the best presentation we saw in the past 8 days. I got super excited about this. This was not part of our official E3 coverage, but I thought the play date, this handheld thing with the crank, with the little box dock that you can put stuff on, I thought this was like one of the most exciting announcements they could have had. The guy who made Obra Dinn is making a game for this. It won't be out in the first season of games, but it's coming at some point. That's super exciting. Is everyone here getting a play date?
No, because they're only making 20,000 of them.
Yeah.
20,000? Okay. Let's
One
say
of
all
four
things
is one of
equal,
a quarter of us are going
all
to get it.
things equal, are we going to get it? I'm going to say
I will try to get a play date.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's most interesting to me about this is I was talking about it on, I think, Night Doe's stream about seasons and like kind of games where like episodically releasing them. I really like that feeling of like not having the whole thing, and they have a schedule of like releasing a game. I think it's 2 games for how many weeks? A lot of weeks. I think that's going to be fun to have a collective group of people being like, oh, what did we play today? Like, what random game did we get? I'm really excited for that, and like seeing people react to those online and stuff. It's going to be very good.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the browser based like game maker thing that they've put together is going to be pretty big.
Yep.
So sorry, there's a large got your ass, idiot. You're fucking dead, kid. You're done,
bug lovers everywhere, hold your ears. What was it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was flying.
It's fine. Okay.
It's dead now. Sorry, Jordan.
Sorry, Jordo. The play date looks amazing. I'm gonna get this cube. I'm gonna steal one from this guy that's talking to us right now. If I can't buy
no, don't
one.
steal from Cable. No.
Cable, no. Well,
Is his name Cable?
Yeah, his name is Cable.
Huh?
If he's really Cable, you can go back in time and get me one.
Heyo.
Yeah,
I got hands on with this at the last PAX. So whenever that was, 2019 their PAX East 2019. And it was cool. It's a cool little thing. Now I'm like more excited about it. So I think I'm going to say it right now.
Look at that old Apple
this
interface.
Fucking rules. It's rules.
So good. It's really good.
I'm going to say it right now, folks. I'm going to put it. The second play date is going to be green. It's going to have a dial on it.
Okay. Thanks, Niki.
Why?
You're welcome.
Well, because they said
in my
we're
bones.
going to come out with a new piece of hardware each time they do this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. Anyway, we should move on. The last thing I really want to talk about is Microsoft. I think besides Nintendo, they had the game of the show. I thought Microsoft did a pretty good job. They combined their presentation with Bethesda. That was a huge one. We saw Starfield. We saw some stuff from Obsidian with like Outer Worlds 2. In terms of Microsoft right now, how is what we're basically like a year into their big plan to get everyone on a Game Pass and everyone in the door and maybe away from PlayStation, although they won't say that explicitly. Is their plan working? How do you think they did this week?
I think they did a very good job of like establishing, hey, if you're on Game Pass, you're feasting. You have so much to play and do that. Like, as Sony becomes the company with the most expensive games, if you want to play MLB, it's going to cost you $70 on a PS5, but it'll cost you a Game Pass subscription on Xbox. Like, I think it's a smart strategy for them to do. The backup has to come in the terms of like first party stuff, which they're doing a good job of like showing. They're doing a good job
Right.
saying, "Hey, we got a new game from Avalanche. We have a new game. Like we've got I can't remember the Hellblade. We got all these games. Just like
Right.
Forza and Halo are the only ones I feel like we've really seen them show, and
Right.
I imagine a lot of that is like they're just these things take time, and COVID did not help. But I saw Jeff Grubb saying it makes sense for like in 2022 and 2023, those are going to be the years of Microsoft. So if they can hold on, if they can keep doing like Brendan's showing the trailer for all the Yakuza games being on Game Pass right now, if they can keep doing things like this, they will hold on fine until those other games come, and then at that point it becomes like a real slobber knocker of a contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't understand if you're a person like if you're my mom and the year is like or the year is now or whatever and
Mhm.
you have like a 16-year-old, maybe a
Right.
15-year-old. And your kid is like, I would like to play video games. So you go, okay, I'm gonna go on a website and look up how to do a video games. And you see two things. You see a $500 PlayStation 5, and then you go on Amazon, you scroll down a little bit, and you see how much the games cost. And then you also see that you have to pay for the kid to get online. And then you go over to the Xbox one, and they have a $300 one. And then underneath it says, we have the Netflix of games. And you pay $15 a month, and your kid gets all of these games. I do not know. If you're Sony, I don't know how you beat that. Like, if Microsoft can get boxes on Target shelves, like, it just seems like
That's very true.
It seems like the conversation is like not even really a conversation to me,
Like,
at least. But like,
the conversation right now is like, hey, Ratchet and Clank is really good, and I think once Microsoft hits that level, then they
Right.
will like it'll actually be like a real thing.
The thing with
Nikki, in this stage you've
oh, go ahead, please.
Oh, I was just saying, in that stage you've set, Nikki, I think that's so true that people are going to go to Xbox, but also they're not even going to see the PS5 in the equation. Like, it's literally just going to be like the Xbox is in the store.
They're not there. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is true. The only thing I would say about your premise, Nikki, and let's say crucially, you could find a PS5, which you can't.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to that in a second. But in your premise, Nikki, that's not how, in my experience, kids get latched onto a console. The kids are going to go to the mom and say, I want a PlayStation. And like that's how that works. Like, there are exceptions to that where someone's like, I'm going to get my kid a video game console, and they look at that value prop, and that's a no fucking brainer, right?
Yeah.
But have they won the hearts and minds? Because I think you're right, Imran. The conversation right now is like, holy shit, have you seen Ratchet and Clank? And like that's a thing that the Xboxes don't have. They just have all this like massive value stuff with these games that are also in other places. So like, I wonder if the hearts and minds conversation has shifted yet, and I don't know if we have evidence to say that it has or hasn't. But
do you think
crucially, to y'all's point, Microsoft, the PS5 is not in the store, so it's like,
But it seems like their plan is working very, very well, and like this is the Disneyfication of Marvel, as we spoke about a couple nights ago, and it is kind of scary to think of like what it's gonna look like if all games are just gonna be sold in this format, or not even really sold, but like just in this Netflix service, and then there's gonna be rented, and there's a lack of permanence from already physical. You don't have that if the servers went down or whatever. But also thinking of like, what are the competitors going to do? What is this landscape going to look like once other companies are thinking more like this and making games as accessible as like Xbox is trying to do? I don't know. I think there's gonna be a huge change in just the way we consume games and the way that just the regular consumer goes and picks up a game from the store very, very soon.
I bet you Nintendo hates this idea. Like, I bet you Nintendo sitting somewhere being like, you want me to not charge $60 for Advance Wars? Like, no, but it's too advanced. It's 2 Advance Wars, right? Like, it's 2 GBA games. It is not just one. We're talking 2 entire GBA games. Like, the idea for Nintendo that any of their stuff would just be free is probably like Koizumi is biting down on a wallet right now. Like, they would not want to do that.
For sure.
One last thing. Wait, hold on. One last thing about this. I think the other part that doesn't get talked about here, because I think the framing is completely different. But like, if Microsoft can get the Xbox app onto your Roku television in a way that works well, I think that's like a huge part of this.
That is their current
Like,
strategy. They had a meeting, like a public thing a couple of days ago that was like the next step of this is xCloud on TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In which case, then what?
Yeah. If I can play, I don't know, fucking Fallout New Vegas on my TV here, and then get in bed and go continue it without any sort of that's the dream, huh? Like, that's incredible. I don't know if they accomplished that, but we will find out. Yeah, I thought Microsoft had a really good showing. I thought their studios that they've acquired are doing good work. I mean, they're making exciting stuff. It seems to just all be kind of going well for them right now. So it's been an interesting week for sure.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like you spent billions of dollars to buy the game companies that make good video games. I cannot believe that this might work. This is to me a shock.
They've loaded up with a lot of good content. I can't believe it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's true. Folks, I can't believe I'm going to say this. We made it to the end of E3.
Let's go!
Oh.
Shots, baby!
Shots. I'm going to do a big spiel. This is going to be like 5 minutes of shit. So buckle up, everyone. I want to thank Imran, our news editor, holding it down. Tons of content. 30 plus stories went up this week with a small team that's including Kenneth Shepard, Elise Favis, Natalie Flores, Colin McGregor, Dylan Skiffington. Everyone killed it this week, making amazing stuff for the website and also doing stuff like this on podcasts and watch alongs and everything. So Imran, thank you very much for all of that. That's
thanks to my team. They were fantastic.
Yeah. A big shout to the other two folks on this, Funke and Niki, for doing a ton of production heavy lifting and also just like scheduling, graphics, like a ton of stuff, just coordinating, picking music, picking vibes. Y'all really killed it this week, and I loved hanging out with everyone on the stream. I also want to thank Ren Price, who produced all of these streams on the back end and did a ton of work.
Yes,
getting vMix and all that stuff set up. Thank you, Ren, so much. Clap, 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 clap. I want to thank Jordan. I want to thank Paul for producing these nightly podcasts and getting them out in a timely manner. They are incredible. Thank you so much, Jordan and Paul. I also really enjoyed seeing Paul and Jordan on these. Jordan was amazing on last night's free. If you want to watch that, Paul's been amazing on some earlier stuff in the week, so that's great. LB Hung Tears, Steven Strom, Merritt K, Danielle Riondo. Jesus, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. I don't think I am.
Natalie.
I did. I said Natalie as part of the other team, but everyone's Jay Singh, our editorial intern for the summer.
Yeah.
Has been amazing.
Sanam, our designer, who made all of the incredible looking stuff.
So
incredible
sleek.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So amazing. It's incredible to have a designer on staff again. Super overdue. So yeah, we did a ton this week. Next time you see us covering a fucking thing like this, we're gonna be in person. Let's go at PAX West, beginning of September. We're gonna actually do the thing. We're all gonna get a rad set up, and I don't know, it's gonna be awesome. So thanks.
John's gonna buy me a house.
I'm gonna buy Niki a house.
Hey, let's go!
Congratulations, Niki.
Thank you.
Niki. Thank you so much to everyone who watched all of our streams, hung out in chat. I know who you are. I've seen you on almost every single one of these things. And also the folks that just dropped by for the first time. Y'all are amazing. Fanbyte.com, podcastnet.work, twitch.tv/fanbyte, @fanbyte media. These are the places you can find us. We are super psyched to do all this stuff. Oh fuck, Khalif Adams. I forgot
Yeah.
Khalif,
Oh,
who
yeah.
held it the fuck down, doing a ton of other stuff while also hosting a lot of things for us. Khalif, you are a superstar, and we love you. Gosh,
You know what? Thank you, John.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks, John.
Thank you, John. What the heck?
To be honest, I did very little except I said yes to your good ideas, which
Thanks.
some would say is enough.
That's a lot.
Some
That's most.
lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's so easy to work with all y'all. So this is amazing.
Yeah, well, thank you for no, seriously, John. Thank you for like making a space where this is possible. Because like every other publication, like I don't know, it's a bit more stricter and a bit more rough. And I feel like here we can really have fun and try new things. And yeah, thanks.
thanks
Yeah,
for
I've seen
the
some bad
best.
E3s before, and like a lot of that comes down to the kind of outlet you're at, and this was a comparatively very good E3.
Awesome. Well,
Mhm.
I appreciate it. Many more to come, I hope. So, well, maybe not many more
Well,
E3s,
maybe
but
not,
many more
yeah.
conferences that we cover. Jordan, I did give Steven a shout out, who also did.
But
amazing.
Steven deserves extra ones. Great job,
Steven
Steven.
deserves extra. Everyone deserves extra. I can't fucking stress enough. Everyone on this team rules so hard. So, I want to thank everyone again for hanging out. This is going to do it for us for E3 coverage. Hot Game Summer 2021 is not over. No way, no how. We're going to do more
Never
streams.
ends.
We're going to have a ton of stuff on our YouTube channel. I did say Merritt Jordan. I swear I said everyone at this point.
Did we say Jordan?
We did say Jordan. Yep. shout out to Diego.
Yeah, shout out to
Mates,
huge shouts to Diego.
Spear World. Thank you so much. Jesus Christ. Okay, we gotta go. Hot Game Summer 2021 is not over. We got more stuff all through the summer, streams, podcasts, all that stuff. Until next time, bye, folks.
Later, gamers.
Bye.